Palmer was a freshman at TCU. Now he's ready to show Wisconsin what he's got. This fall, he's impressing head coach Luke Fickell.
Nate is a guy that maybe in the spring showed a little bit, but still we didn't know who we had and who he is. We were just getting to know each other. And today was actually a really big day for Nate because he got dinged up early. He got rolled up in a team setting early in practice, and they took him off and said, I'm not sure if he can come back. And you kind of challenged him to say, hey, can you go? And he came back out here and really did a good job the second part of practice. And some guys don't understand, like when you want to know, when you're trying to find out about guys, that's what you're trying to find out.
Moving on to baseball, the Brewers, after taking yesterday and last night off, are back home and back in action tonight, playing host to the Mariners. Last night, the Cubs beat the White Sox 7-5. The Brewers lead 4.5 games. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Greetings, salutations, smart, good-looking listeners, 5 o'clock club members. Let's rally. Let's get it going on a Tuesday. I'm Drew Olson here at headquarters, joined by Armin Sarian because today's a practice day. Billy's not here.
Indeed, Drew. Practice day. Billy will be going up to Green Bay, although I think he going to stop in.
He will.
Yeah, stop
He'll
in
be
today.
here on his way to pick
Next
up the
hour.
car.
But an extra hour of sleep for our man Williams.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to drive tired. You know how that goes. You don't want to be driving tired. We have to make sure he has enough time to hit Quick Trip to get his provisions on his way up to Lambeau.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be a good day.
So we're shorthanded a little bit. Dolph
bit.
will be back. Hunter's back from vacation, which is fantastic. And we're here with our 5 o'clock clubbers. Check in 877-794-1973. Gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And for starters today, because the Brewers were off, much well-deserved, well-timed day off.
Well-timed indeed. I mean, how long have they been going without
17 days.
17 days,
With
needed
no
one.
idea. 17 days with a lot of travel mixed in, a lot of ebbs and flows.
West Coast travel,
a lot
obviously.
of roster shenanigans, injuries, IL maneuvers.
Yeah, guys in and out of the team, like
playing out of position, guys that are added to the roster and dumped, out of nowhere, just guys parachuting in. It was a weird stretch. We mentioned it yesterday. They went 10-7, got a chance to unwind, sleep at home, and get ready for a homestand. That begins tonight against the Mariners. Now, I have a hypothesis to bounce off of folks today, and it is that baseball is, for a variety of reasons, the best sport to follow when your team is good, because you get the little bonuses. Like last night, Brewers didn't play. They took the well-deserved day off, but the Cubs played the White Sox, and the Brewers are battling the Cubs in the NL Central and in the NL, and you got to cheer against the Cubs. Now, it didn't work out. Cubs played a thrilling game against the White Sox, and they walked them off in 10th inning.
Yeah, White Sox almost got him. Benintendi had the the lead, but unfortunately, the PCA monster.
PCA, the way Miz kind of sealed his Cy Young with his appearance in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
PCA may have done that with the MVP last night.
He's getting to that level, although obviously Ohtani's still doing his thing.
Ohtani's doing his thing, but PCA is 30-30, and Ohtani's pitching has been shelved, so he's not as attractive as the two-way candidate.
Totally agree. And you also can't convince me that there isn't a little voter fatigue on Ohtani, like there was with Jordan. But we'll see how it goes. But he's definitely deserving. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is like you get your team to watch and others, because let's face it, the Cubs are always an obsession in these parts, and have been, and probably always will be,
especially when they're a contender. Right?
But the Cubs, they provide that foil, and they provide that little sideshow. And I've heard it from several people, probably a dozen times in the last month, when the Brewers were kind of, riding the roller coaster. They're up, they're down. Oh, the Brewers lost. Well, at least the Cubs lost too. And it gives you that offset. You get to offset your losses. Like, oh, well, the Brewers lost, but the Cubs didn't pick up any ground.
Yeah.
Brewers just struggled through a stretch. And again, struggled going 10-7 because it was a struggle. And yet the Cubs picked up like a half a game in that period, because that's another reason. Plus, baseball's every damn day. You got something new every day with like the Packers and the NFL. You're building up. We got another month yet till they start the season, and then you get into the rhythm of the season. But then you're playing ostensibly once a week, sometimes Sunday, Thursday, but you're playing once a week, and you spend 2 days, 3 days looking forward to the game. You have the game, you spend 2 days looking back, and then you're looking forward again. In baseball, you got something new every night. Basically.
It's a new meal, and in the way you make it, you're putting it. It's totally apt. It's correct.
So when your team is good in baseball, and it being an everyday endeavor, and when you get to vicariously, you get to slake your thirst on days off by rooting for or against other teams.
Yeah, you get interest there.
It gives you now that can happen. Not so much in the NBA. The NBA regular season is, in my mind, the worst regular season.
Well, unfortunately, as a culture, we've assigned less and less importance to it, and therefore our passion for it has followed suit.
Yeah,
if the sport itself is assigned less importance to it, so therefore that's how we look at it. It's all about the playoffs. So I'd agree there. Yep. Although when your team is, you brought up a point that's astute. When your team is really good, it's always more fun to follow. So that means where's the most action? It's baseball. It's a daily basis. It's a new meal every day. Whereas you always talk about feasting on the buffalo of a Packer game for the whole week.
Yeah.
It's got to feed the village.
It can feed the village, and it has its merits, I will say, but there's just something baseball being every day. And you can, and every day, and you can have these little moments built in. You have, walk-off games during the season, like every day. Not every NFL game is followed by a Gatorade bath.
Right. Some are just, you
in baseball, though, they do that, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because it's funny how people get pissed sometimes, like, oh, you only won the wild card, or you clinched a playoff berth and you're spraying champagne. Why are you doing that? Well, they dump Gatorade on a Tuesday night in Detroit. Like,
because there's such a thing in baseball as a walk-off homer, which you don't really have as much in the other sports, right? I mean, you could get an overtime goal in hockey, but in the NBA, in basketball, unless it's a true buzzer beater, or unless in the NFL it's a true walk-off of a field goal, maybe in overtime, it's just not the same. But you do have that in baseball, the walk-off. And you're right, Drew, you get more of it. It's every day. It's like if you have a favorite show, right, or a favorite book. Like if it's something you're starting to really enjoy, a new show, just think if you had a new episode every day, right? You don't have to wait a whole week for another episode. And that's kind of what it is. And if it's something that's not going well for you, if your team isn't, playing well, or you're not really quite enjoying following them, it's easy to get lost in it too. It's sort of like a soap opera where they churn out like a factory so many episodes that you'll easily get lost in if you have no interest and miss 10 episodes. But if you're into it, if it's a passion and you're truly enjoying it, and the thing is you're getting that dopamine rush from that team every day. And to your point, the Cubs are giving that to you too when they play as well, for better or for worse, because you have an interest there. So that is such an observational point. That's a great point. Like the Brewers didn't play last night, but the dopamine rush you got, or the opportunity you got to watch for a dopamine rush by the Cubs losing, was just as good, almost just as good, because it's like nothing's going to replace the Brewers winning. But when you're in first place, you also get the enjoyment of watching and rooting for the second place team losing, which is, it keeps your interest.
Yes.
It's like a new page of a book that you're just engrossed in.
That exactly. So that it's a page turner. It's you're in it for the long haul. And to your point, though, you can you can be into this Brewers team, and then you can go to Europe for 2 weeks and not follow it, and then come back and pick it up where you were.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. You just check the stand. Okay, where did I miss?
Yeah. Not that you can't do that in other sports, but
you can actually.
But living vicariously, and especially in a pennant race, when you're scoreboard watching is more fun in baseball and more prevalent.
Yeah, it's like, what's your nightly entertainment, And last night in the summer, it's you have that ability in baseball. They have a game every day. Now, like last night, right now, they didn't have one. So last night they had the day off, but you're like, all right, well, I'm not paying attention to baseball. But then you realize Benintendi just hit a homer for the Sox, and they just go up 5-4 at Wrigley, and then you get to be invested in that game, and that you get to be entertained by that, and you got to have. It's always more fun to have a rooting interest. In anything. Like, there's games on every night. But if I watch the Angels and the Mariners, or the Angels and the Rockies or the Dodgers, it's not, unless it's really affecting your team. A lot of fans feel this way. It's not the same. But when you have something directly affecting you, like the Cubs, obviously it's enjoyable. It's an entertaining thing.
It is.
Unfortunately, the Sox couldn't hold on to their lead last night, but that's another great
story.
But
it gave you entertainment.
It gave you something to look at, yeah.
It's your side piece.
It's your side
you
piece.
got a side
right.
piece. You got the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Now, are you living and dying if the Athletics are playing the Rangers? No, that game's going on, and it's like, man, okay.
That's why.
Meanwhile, back here among the tire and strip club ads.
Exactly.
But you have the Cubs front of mind. You're following like the Dodgers and the Braves for the best records. The Brewers are actually in like 2 races, one to win the division, one to finish with one of the 2 top records. So you have like 2 side view, and you only get in the course of a season, like 20, 21 days off, like including the All-Star break's kind of the long
not
one.
Many, yeah.
But you get like 1 day a week where there's no ball game.
That's why I know for some people, there is always also the flip side of, boy, it can be exhausting to follow baseball every day because you never get a break of having to follow.
It can be exhausting
results.
covering it every day. I can tell you that.
It's your job, I'm sure.
But people would say, doesn't it get boring? Don't the games all look the same?
So,
like, no, I would say it's a book with 162 chapters, and every day something happens where it's like, even the year the Brewers death march towards 106 losses, every day there was something new, it took a twist, a turn, there was something going on.
And there's always there'll always be an aspect of in a season that long where, you're ripping pages off the calendar. You're getting through it, dog days and stuff. There's always an aspect of it, but you're right. It comes down to how much you enjoy it.
In the past, the Hardos always had the side piece because the Hardos, and I mean the hardcore fans, would always live and die with the minor league results, which have been, completely. That's fun again too because the Brewers have such a deep, well-stocked organization.
Prospects
they just moved,
to follow.
Luis Pena moved up to Double-A. Their Double-A team may be one of the best minor league teams in history in terms of the talent and future big leaguers on it.
Gosh, yeah.
I don't know if they're all going to end up in Milwaukee, but they're all going to end up playing in the big leagues at some point. And you're writing an incredible story there. Just a little sidebar, and again, you got to kind of go find that. And there are people who are really into it, and there are people who are just kind of casually aware. But that's a little side hustle. But to me, last night proved it that you could be invested in a Cubs, White Sox game that you otherwise wouldn't have cared about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I don't think in Cincinnati they were living and dying with the Cubs. They were busy with no doubleheader last night. But Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, they aren't living and dying with that because their team's not as good. But baseball offers you that at the highest levels. And again, baseball's also the cruelest sport. As
definitely
Bart Giamatti wrote, baseball breaks your heart. It's designed to break your heart. And it's the cruelest sport because it's the most random postseason, and there's no, rhyme or reason. Best teams don't always win, blah, blah, blah. But when your team is good and there's atmosphere and the ballpark's buzzing and full, or you play a series like the Brewers just did in LA, how often in the NBA do you get a night where it feels like a playoff game?
Yeah.
Maybe once, twice a year.
Where it's a comeback or an exciting
here
win.
In baseball, you get those regularly.
You get more of them too, more chances for it,
That's what I'm saying. And so in more games, more chances for just more compelling viewing. But Okay, so like the Brewers are 99% to make the playoffs, but those 4 games in LA felt like playoff games
because they do matter. They matter for seeding. They matter for division.
They mattered,
and
it felt like playoff games. So that's why it just dawned on me last night as that was unfolding in Chicago. That's a great rivalry too. And the White Sox are an incredible story, like independent of your Brewers rooting interest. The White Sox opened the season here, coming off a horrible season last year. The Brewers stomped them. I remember talking to Len Casper and Darren Jackson before a game in their TV crew, friends of the program, former, of course, Lenny being a Marquette guy and a Milwaukee radio guy. And Darren played for the Brewers when I was covering the Brewers back in the day. And so they were like, no, we're better. Like, we're not this bad again. It's going to be a better season. Like, we are better. And they were confident and they called it, and they are better. But that's an interesting sidebar. But the fact that you get that little extra watching. Now, again, football fans, the Packers aren't playing. I can enjoy Thursday night football. I can bet on it. It's like, yeah, but are you, investments aside?
Well, that's what
are you living and dying with the result like you were last night? Like you're
not the team result, but the fantasy football aspect of it, people are.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not the same as saying like, all right, well, I mean, you do cheer against division rivals a lot. I mean, at least I do. God, people like me do. I'm always looking to see if the Vikings.
You want the Vikings to lose, the Bears to lose.
I get that, but you're right. It's not. There can be games that are, Jaguars, Cardinals that are total dogs that on Thursday night that you're like, okay, I'm watching it because it's on, right?
Yeah.
And the NFL is still king, but you don't get the same. You don't get the same constant rush of flow through that faucet of results, of energy, of games, and that's what makes it fun to follow. It also can be like it's fun because our team's been good. Right. And when the Brewers had that stretch of bad teams for so long, Drew, that was also what made it feel daunting for me. Like as a Brewers fan, hoping that one day again, I'd see my team go 500. Like that was the biggest thing, right? We haven't been 500 in forever. We haven't won. I remember thinking like the Brewers would put so much into winning a game or two here. And then like you could easily lose 3 in a row. There's so much to do. There's so many times you have to respond. To be a good baseball team, I think it's the hardest of any sport to be good at because you have to constantly win. You have to constantly put out a good result. You can't fool anybody for 5-10 games, and that's enough. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have you can't win a bunch of NFL games by 3 enough to make a wild card. It's just in baseball, there are so many games that you have to be legitimately good and you have to prove yourself night after night. And that was what always made it daunting as a Brewers fan when they were bad. I'm like, it is so hard to win in baseball. I'm like, how come
it really is?
How come this franchise, Milwaukee Brewers, like, well, I'd cheer for this team and we'd go through our struggles in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm like, how are we ever going to win in like that many games, that many days? Like, it just felt so hard. Like, you got Wayne Franklin and Wes Obermuller starting again. Like, it was like,
how can you from the past.
How can you get a streak together when those guys were in your rotation? Like
Wes Obermuller from Iowa. That's a golf guy.
I hate to stray him, but those were that was the way it felt.
That's the way it felt.
So it goes both. My point is, it goes both ways, right? And that's what's great about baseball is you have the drama unfold every day. You have the daily entertainment of and that would be the argument against the nothing matters but playoffs and championships.
Yep.
It's like in baseball, if your team's good, you're getting the constant dopamine rush of entertainment every day. Yep. And like you can't tell me that doesn't matter more in baseball than anything.
We are streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Hit us up on the comments there. Hit us up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Am I just waxing romantic? Am I drunk on the pennant race?
Well, that's okay too.
Or do you agree? Because to me, last night was just proof that baseball is the most fun sport to follow when your team is good. And the fact that you get these little sidebar, diversions that you can. On a rare day off, you still get to scratch the itch. You get, like you said, the dopamine hit of the Cubs playing a meaningful baseball. Now, the Cubs picked up a half a game. The Brewers can win it back today by beating the Mariners. But it's just fascinating because that you're in it for the long haul. You only have, in an entire course of a summer from, late March into early October, you get like 18 to 20 days off.
Yeah.
There's no game.
It's the gamblers would say, it's the constant action. You're always in action.
Yep.
And when you crave the action, you want to stay in the action all the time.
It is.
Because that's the energy that you're craving.
Yep. Got
Happy
a couple
Tuesday,
other
Vince.
sidebar corollary discussions today. We're going to talk about this weird situation with Diamondback star
That's
Ketel
very weird.
Marte.
That one is just kind of bizarre. It's the second time he's kind of gone AWOL.
Really bizarre. He
Yeah.
went AWOL last night in Boston and has been placed on the restricted list. And it's just now there's the team again. They're trying to focus on being in the race, and
have to deal with this now.
Really weird. And they got spanked in the game, but not surprisingly. But there's bigger fish to fry there. They got bigger problems. And as Buster Olney, friend of the show, points out, we start today with 3 teams tied for the third AL wild card with 61 and 64 records.
Crazy.
7 teams are within 2 games of each other in the race for the third wild card.
Yeah, I mentioned it quickly yesterday, Drew, but
I'll
say it again. No team has ever made the MLB playoffs in the non-COVID shortened year with a record below 500. This could be the first year in the AL because it's been so topsy-turvy. The balance of power is NL, so we'll see.
Yep. Now, another corollary is that we're talking about PCA, and there's the race that he has going on individually for the MVP award. PCA hits the walk-off last night. He's the 30-30 guy.
2 dingers last
Has
night.
a chance to be the Cubs' first 40-40 guy. Pretty decent.
And if you're into analytics, I mean, his are just going wild.
And his defense has
there.
been spectacular. The Cubs are, by the way, one of the better defensive teams in recent memory.
Yeah.
And he's a big part of that. So there's that race. And that got me thinking, who's the Brewers MVP this year?
Good question.
We'll kick that around a little bit. We want to hear from you. 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Comment on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Plenty on our plates today. Billy will be in at 6. We got Dolph popping in at 6:30. You are in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling through Tuesday in the Good Land. It's the Huddle. Drew Olson, Armin Sarian teaming up today. Billy will be here at 6 on his way up to practice. Training camp live today. Enjoy these while you can. I think after today, there are only 2 left, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. And Drew, it's been, as opposed to some years, I don't want to jinx it, knock on Formica here. They've had great weather up there.
Well, I was just thinking about that because if it rains today.
It's the only concern today, I think.
Which I think it's going to in Green Bay.
Yeah, but maybe late. I
think they might have a window of decent weather today.
Because the dew points really dropped a couple nights ago, and it is so comfortable out there. It last night was probably one of the greatest weather nights you could ever have.
It was pretty good.
I mean, the fact it was warm, but it was comfortable. The dew point is low, like in the 50s. When that thing drops, that dew point, you don't get humidity. I mean, the weather was so nice, it can bring you to tears. I mean, it is so wonderful out there. You know what I mean?
It can bring you to tears.
It can bring you a young man.
It was beautiful. Windows open to sleep.
And we should have another good day, a good week for that. I don't think the dew points are going to really heat up.
Should be pretty good. All right, 877-794-1973. All you 5 o'clock clubbers, check in, say hello, and give us your thoughts on. We're focused on PCA because of last night. Pete Crow Armstrong. Rock will never call him PCA. He'll only call him Pete Crow Armstrong.
I love that.
But we're focusing on him because he had 2 home runs, including a walk-off, which is he's having a summer. 30 homers, 30 steals, and platinum, probably arguably best in the league defensive player. Puts him at the top of the MVP pyramid right now.
Yeah,
Shohei's there too, but he's got a chance. Got a chance to be the Cubs' first 40-40 man in history as well. So that got me thinking, who's the Brewers MVP? And this is a spirited debate.
Yeah, love this one.
Because Armin is a Denzian of wins above replacement.
I do love that stat.
And wins above replacement.
Objectivity in my
wins
stats.
Above replacement give you one player and then another player right on his heels.
Yeah.
And then a guy who's the people's champion, kind of like behind them considerably. And that would be Bryce Terang. Leads the Brewers in WAR at 5.3.
He's the one, and he did the same thing last year. His just combined the offense from his position and his defensive prowess combined make him super valuable in the analytics world.
He leads the Brewers in runs scored. He leads the Brewers in hits.
He's quite obviously there.
He leads the Brewers in doubles. He is third, I believe, in homers behind Churio and Bowers.
Yes,
he's stolen 16 bags. He has. He's put up a 358 OBP, which is pretty good. Only behind Bowers, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I guess Vaughn's at 390. But his numbers are right up there. Platinum level defense.
He leads the league in defensive WAR at that position.
He's played in 115 games, which is a lot out of 125.
So he's giving you the most total cumulative value.
Conversely, though he pitches only every 5 days, Miz, on his way to a Cy Young Award.
He's right there too.
Has a 5.1 WAR.
Yeah,
which is right behind Terang's 5.3.
It becomes a discussion of whether or not to give the MVP to a starting pitcher.
Well, yeah, some people want to break
it
up already. Well, he's the pitching MVP. Cy Young kind of that way. And then Bowers is in the discussion. His WAR is only 2.4.
Yeah,
to Terang.
And I think part of that's because he plays first, and it's kind of a complicated stat, but
it is.
There's so much offense that comes from first base. It's really hard. It doesn't mean you're not valuable or putting up. And in fact, I would actually eschew from my normal WAR and say Bowers has to get a stronger argument here, because you think about the topsy-turvy year the Brewers have had with some of their offensive players that they count on, and Bowers' year has been so good and such a constant revelation. There are some days you would have wondered, especially early in the year, where would the Brewers have been without Jake Bauers' offense? I mean, Jake Bowers has been so important to this team as bad, so he should definitely get some consideration.
Yeah.
Terang
has more plate appearances and at bats. They've scored.
That's the other thing.
Roughly similar amount of runs, and again, Terang has him by like 70 plate appearances.
Yeah, so
Terang has scored 74 runs. Bowers has scored 71. Terang has 120 hits. Bowers has 104. Terang has 28 doubles. Bowers has 18. Triples are a wash. 3 for Terang, 2 for Bowers. Bowers has 21 homers and 70 RBI. Turang is at 16 and 75.
Okay.
So fewer homers for Turang, but more RBI. And steals, he's almost doubled them up at 16-9. It's a close race, but I think in terms of numbers, you would say Turang.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of vibe, you would say Bowers.
Yeah, just because of the power he's provided you. Now, it's kind of tough to judge him defensively because he's played a couple of positions and mostly at first. And Bowers hasn't played every day, right? So Turang's giving you that everyday kind of.
Yeah, well.
He played a lot of days. But But not, I guess, more than he's close to it. But he's not every day where Turang has just been
Bowers is fourth on the team in games played. Do you know who's ahead of him?
Well,
Turang.
Turang and not Churio because he was banged up.
Yeah.
Or Ortiz? I want to say.
Contreras,
of course.
Contreras leads.
Yeah.
116.
Garrett Mitchell?
Turang is 115. Garrett Mitchell's 113. And Bowers is 112. Joey O's at 102.
Who would have said that?
Nobody else is over 100.
No, what's fantastic about it is what he's done. But the thing with Turang is when you threaten a Gold Glove from your position at all times, you're just giving a team more value. And he's had another great defensive year. That's not to take anything away from Bowers, but that's probably where you tip the scales if you were to judge one or the other. Now, there's going to be some out there, and Andrew Fritsch here chiming in on YouTube is one of them. It's obviously Miz, clear-cut Cy Young with a month and a half to go. The value of a dominant starting pitcher like that, Drew, when you need a stopper the most, when you need a guy you can count on all the time, when you know you can highly increase your chances of winning every time he steps in the mound, it's hard to replace that value too.
Very true.
So that's where you throw in Miz.
But again, intellectually, and I'm the first to say that a starting pitcher he pitches once every 5 days, but he affects 3 of the 5 games because you can manage your bullpen a little differently. It's like, oh, we got Miz going tomorrow. We can kind of empty the bullpen a little bit. And then you got Miz. And then the day after, because he's generally gone 7 innings or 6 strong, you have a fresher bullpen, right? So he impacts the games around the games that he pitches. But, Miz has started 23 games.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's amazing what he's done.
Can you be the MVP when you've started 123 games? And the team has played 23 games out of 125.
Well, should they give the MVP to pitchers? I mean, that's also the big big debate over the years. And some guys are that good. I personally like Cy Young as being the MVP for pitchers, so I like separating them. But if you're just talking about one player, it's a Miz versus Turang probably, and then Turang gives you the everyday.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to kind of.
Well, Steve on the talking text line says the pitching MVP is McGill.
You could make an argument for him or Uribe. I don't want to forget Uribe there. Those two have been pretty good stalwarts at the end of the bullpen.
Well,
the back end where no one's thought about them.
Well, you're a WAR fan.
Yeah.
Mizorowski's WAR is 5.1, which is spectacular.
Yeah.
McGill's is 1.7, which ranks him 5th in the Delta Pledge class, behind Abner Uribe at 1.9, and behind Kyle Harrison and Logan Henderson are both at 2.1.
To have 2 bullpen arms with that high of a WAR means they're both spectacular, because it's hard to generate that number as a reliever just because it's that WAR stat is based so much on volume of performance, like on volume of contribution.
That's the thing. Well, and there you have it, because if you're going to make the case for McGill, like I said, Miz has pitched spectacularly. He's going to be the Cy Young as the best pitcher in the league, but he's pitched 23 games. McGill and Uribe, who's hurt now and on the IL, have both pitched in 49 games.
49 games. So they've impacted
twice as many games. Yeah. You're impacting.
Not as many innings, but more games.
But more games.
Yeah.
And those are high leverage innings, to use a phrase that I don't generally like. So
that's right. You hate that.
Yeah. Not as much as Mike Vasallo, but I don't like it. So it's fascinating. And by the way, Miz with the 210 strikeouts is incredible.
I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to really replace.
Innings. Miz has been the most dominant.
There's no question.
He's
an MVP for this team. Whether or not you want to call him the pitching MVP or the other MVP.
I don't know,
Miz is having is so.
I don't know if I could put him in an MVP race above Turang and or Bowers. And I think Turang's been more valuable than Bowers, but it's close. Like I said, Turang in the numbers and the counting and the intellectual stats, and Bowers and the vibes. because Bauer seems like he's gotten big hits and he's done things when nobody else was doing anything, and
especially power numbers early. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, this team doesn't hit that many homers, and he's the one was the one guy doing it.
Yeah. And he's got the Rake Bauer's nickname. Turang's just steady and he's just there, and you just count on him. And Turang does come up with big hits, but a lot of times they're part of rallies, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Turang had a double in that 3-run rally, whereas Bauer's seems like he gets the standalone spotlight a lot. You know, he comes through a lot in the
sure.
You know, he comes through a lot in just big situations. Hey man, you need guys like that. You need, if you're a good team, it's good to have a discussion where you have 3 or 4 guys that you can make the case for being your MVP.
This is a great thing to have. This is exactly what you need.
It's absolutely.
Buddy in Kenosha says no defensive Wizards this season, so I'll say Rake Bowers is MVP. Well, the numbers suggest Turang has been defensive Wizard.
He's still pretty good.
And the thing is,
that's part of the reason his WAR is so high.
That's the main reason it's jumped up so high. And the thing about Turang is it's kind of a hidden value to the naked eye, because even though you can see, well, he's a good defensive second baseman, you ask yourself, how much does it really contribute to wins? And that's what WAR tries to get at. And the thing is, and that's why I said it before, I remember it was one of my hot take hump days, that Turang could be an MVP one day if he has 15 more years like he did. Because his defense always puts him at a number where if he's playing close to Gold Glove worthy defense, which he usually does, the analytics love it, the WAR number loves it, and he's always going to have that value quotient where he's going to just add that number up. And that's kind of what PCA is doing as well in Chicago. And that's what voters vote on now. So as much as it pains me to realize we probably won't be able to keep Turang long-term, I always said that was the one guy I would have signed and invested in, because he provides you so many win values because of the defense. And he did it last year, and he's doing it again, Drew.
Yeah.
His total WAR last year was 5.5. 24 was 4.8. You're talking about 17.1. He's going to be top 12 in Brewers WAR in a year or two, all time. I mean, in terms of what guys contributed, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Like, you know, there's nothing to sneeze at. Like, so it's pretty impressive stuff from Turang. I think that's why you'd always have him in the mix as team MVP. I think we had
Turang stats. You want to go deep into the weeds of the stats. Baseball Info Solutions has a stat: defensive runs saved above average. The number of runs above or below average the player was worth based on their overall defense, combining a whole bunch of other numbers. Turang is at like 17. That's pretty wild. Defensive runs saved above average. Bowers is -7.
Yeah, see that's what'll do it to you.
That's where your WAR discrepancy comes in.
Yeah, some people don't like over reliance on this stat, and I understand that. Like I always look for, there's so much eye test in baseball. That's why I think we love the numbers so much. It's always been a statistics sport, and this is just another one of them. To me, it's an objective standard you try and find. Context: Prince Fielder is 24th all time in Brewers WAR with 16.8. Turang's already passed him. So by that measure alone, he's already been more valuable to the franchise than Prince Fielder is. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would not agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. But it's just kind of a reference point for people to think about.
Bryce Turang, by the way, is 26, and baseball players generally hit their peak at 27, and they enjoy their peak between 26 and 30. Just saying. Same thing with Mitchell. He's 27. William Contreras, though, it seems like he's been playing forever, is only 28.
If Turang hits 900 OPS, he could be an MVP one day. It's similar to what PCA is doing this year. And he's at 800 this year, which is really good, obviously. So, I read Andrew's text already. Pink Flamingo talking about how the baseball is the ultimate dopamine rush game every day. In football, there's no room for error. You only play 17 games, so if you lose 2 in a row, suddenly it feels like your playoff hopes are gone. That's true too, I guess, in football.
Yeah. I would say, and I've said for years, that college football regular season is really good because the games mean so much. Whereas the NFL, how many times you see teams start, 2 and 3, and then
there's a pressure there.
Good. Yeah. So it's like you can overcome things. It's a long slog. Fascinating discussions. Hardcore sports today. Oh my God.
We're doing hardcore sports, Drew. It's 5 a.m. We're doing hardcore
Take my
sports.
Temperature. My goodness. All right, when we come back, one of the things about the Brewers this season, other than the injuries and the revolving door and the bays and coming in, Johnny Rockets and stuff, it's been a relatively drama-free season. Yeah, we had the trade deadline stuff, but it's been relatively drama-free, whereas other teams
Diamondbacks
ride the wave. The Diamondbacks are in it right now with Ketel Marte. We'll talk about that as we move forward. Continue to hit us up with your thoughts, 877-794-1973. We're light on text today, but we got a lot of people watching the stream and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
So I appreciate each and every one of you. Billy will be in about 15 minutes to guide us through the 6 o'clock hour. Dolph will join us for halftime. We're glad you're hanging out with us. It's a Tuesday. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Wilson, Armin Sarian, bringing it to you on a Tuesday in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Streaming live for you insomniacs, early risers, and sociopaths. Facebook, X, and YouTube. Hit us up, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line 877-794-1973. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out online, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. I'll be visiting, usually go on Monday, but I'm going to go on Wednesday this week. Going to have a little blood test done. Got to have a little maintenance. Got to see how things are going.
Check things out.
Everything is medically supervised and safe. Check out Game Day Men's Health, the array of services that they offer. Something there can help you just improve in general. Like, it's too late to improve and get in shape for summer. Get in shape for life is never a bad thing. You can do that with help from Game Day Men's Health, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right. We've been talking about the Brewers. Who's your MVP? Just make a vote. We'll do a straw poll here. I would say the leading candidates are Miz, Terang, and Bowers. Again, like, they have varying cases, and Bowers is more about the vibes than the numbers. But the numbers tell the story as well. So what? You put yourself in those shoes. Make yourself a voter. Give us your ranked 3 or ranked 5, because you can make a case Contreras is pretty valuable to that team.
Yeah,
even when he's been struggling offensively, what he does with the pitchers and defensively is important.
You still need him there. I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, it's not been his best season in that sense, but you still need him there so you can make that case as well. What about,
which of the
Harrison's
guys
been there?
Harrison, for sure. Which one of the guys though will get? Here the Brewers are going to finish with the best record in baseball, and they might not have anybody in the top 10 of the MVP vote.
And that's amazing. And that's kind of been their MO.
Maybe it's because Miz is going to get.
Yeah, that's true.
He gets his flowers on the Cy Young side, but Terang should be in there, and Bowers maybe as well.
The fact
maybe they'll crack and get a couple.
Well, Terang's been criminally underappreciated.
Maybe the Milwaukee guys will vote for him.
Yeah, you would think.
Give him like 7th or something.
But the real strength of this Brewers team has been that they aren't a team built on like a bunch of big stars.
True.
That's
very true. Ham and egg.
It's been a collective effort, especially for the pitching staff all these years, and from the front office. And Logan Henderson's been great. That's another guy who's.
And you mentioned McGill and Uribe, who pitch a lot in important situations. I mean, low key under the radar glue guy is Ashby.
Yeah,
with the volume of work he does on that side of it,
he was really starting. He kind of had a rough patch in the year, but.
So as this lays out, and again, one of the things that the Brewers have avoided this year is drama, and we got drama in Arizona.
Crazy.
The D-backs are trying to make a push and trying to get into and Billy's been bullish on them for a while because they're going to get some pitchers back, and here they go to Boston for kind of a big series, 2 kind of surging teams, and the D-backs are derailed by Ketel Marte flying to Boston with the team. He was seen at a bar the night before the game. He posted it on his Instagram, like a thing from the flight and stuff, a photo of the flight landing, and he reposted like a graphic of the game preview, and then he didn't show up for the game.
Now, one really quick thing on this, and we're going to hit the top of the hour, so we'll get into it more, but I was going to ask you, Drew, the confusion, there seemed to be some confusion at first if he was in Boston, right? For the series at first from the team, and they knew that he was there, and then you said he posted from the flight, and I was like, well, don't they know he was on the flight?
Oh yeah,
or
he was with the team. He traveled with the team to Boston.
The team knew that then.
Yeah,
okay. I don't know. For some reason, I thought there was confusion on that.
They held the lineup. He didn't show up. They held the lineup till the last possible minute, and then they called it a personal matter. Now, he was on the phone, and Torey Lovullo, their manager, is very close to him and was in text contact with him. Wouldn't reveal what they were talking about. Lovullo got very emotional talking about it. He was going to start as the DH, and they held the lineup back until 20 minutes before the game, and then they submitted that he was not playing, and they changed it.
Now, this happened before when he had to go home to attend to something, right? I forget what country.
Well, it was coming out of the All-Star break.
Yeah.
He was like, they couldn't reach him, and he was in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So he went home. But anyway, Lovullo, they lost 11-1 last night amid all the distraction. Lovullo said, quote, "It's been a crazy day. All I know is that he's dealing with a personal issue. We're trying to figure that out. He didn't show up today, and he was put on the restricted list. That's as much as I know right now. I was just doing my best to reach out to him, and there was very little coming back."
Well, it could be a number of things. As we know, Drew, it could be a number of things. The first thing you hope for is that all is well with him and his family. Like, you just never know. We had the situation with Romeo Dobbs when he just was not, he was kind of AWOL for that week.
Yep.
And you go through and you realize some guys, there's a lot going on for some guys, and we have really no idea with him. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds in the coming days.
Geraldo Perdomo, who's a shortstop, one of Marte's closest friends on the team, said, I don't know anything. I just came here to play. I didn't see him here, and we haven't talked yet. At the end of the day, we're a family. We're going to support everybody no matter what. So we just came here to play. That's the only goal we have right now, just to win. All right, they're battling for a National League wild card spot. Now they're one game behind the Padres, who also lost last night. In the race for the final wild card spot, they're 2 games behind the Phillies, who have the number 2 spot. So the Diamondbacks are right in it. Corbin Carroll, I think you could sum it up as a weird day.
That's for sure.
I thought the coaches did a good job of handling it, making sure we were prepared. Interesting stuff. Drama outside of Milwaukee. Billy Schmidt's going to join us momentarily. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Football season, of course, is upon us. The dog days of camp have arrived. But the main question in Madison this year, the same as the last several years. What do you make of the new quarterback? There's been a new transfer QB1 at the start of each of Luke Fickell's years in Madison. Tanner Mordecai, Tyler Van Dyke, Billy Edwards Jr., and now former Old Dominion quarterback Colton Joseph. Joseph was asked how he feels like he's grown as a leader since he's changed schools after his sophomore season.
I think just trying to get in front of guys and motivate people. Coming out of high school, I was a little more shy, a little more kind of like, like what's going on. But now that I'm kind of getting more comfortable and I'm more in the groove of things, I think I've really done a great step in taking command of the offense and being able to get guys to, trust me as I trust them.
Moving on to the pros, the Packers will hold their only open to the public workout today at Ray Nitschke Field. Training camp live with Billy and Wayne starts at 11. And the Brewers off last night. They'll host the Mariners for the first of 3 games starting tonight. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, cutting and cracking. It's the Huddle Tuesday edition from headquarters. Drew Olson, Armin Sarian. Happy to welcome Billy Schmid to his own party here. Hello, Billy.
What's going on, fellas? Quick drive-by, and always fun to drop in. I said I use the Jimmy Buffett's like a tourist in your own town deal, but now I just won't leave. Now you got to finish it up. Now you just won't leave. Now you're stuck in here hanging out and excited to get up to practice and excited to watching people block somebody.
Exactly. Packers back at it. Now, they had the hard practice Sunday. Well, kind of a flushing practice. Go-to pads. But you're going to see some stuff today. And this will be like the last time of this week because they'll hit
a quick walkthrough tomorrow and then get on a plane on Thursday, fly out for Denver on Friday. And today's also another exciting training camp live because coming up at 9 a.m., I believe we get to hear a little bit from Brian Gutekunst. Now, he's not going to doesn't make any decisions, right? But we clutch these moments where you hear from the guy that actually picks the players.
Yes. Yeah.
We clutch onto these like pearls. So you only get so many of them. As much as Brian Gutekunst loves to call back and talk about Ted Thompson, there's not a ton of Ted Thompson in him. Maybe a little bit more Ron Wolf in him because he talks a lot during camp. And, if they make a splash move, he will. But Ted would talk the bare minimum. So we're still into that that category where you got to grab every soundbite and enjoy every little bit.
I was just going to say, just by the nature of him talking this much, he's not the Ted
to
Thompson.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, to use one of Armin's favorite analogies, like LaFleur is the chef and he's supplied his ingredients by Brian Gutekunst and company.
Yeah, he shops for the groceries.
Yeah. He gets the groceries, and then it's like the chef can only make the meal as good as the ingredients are. And
and
sometimes the chefs can make Spam into a gourmet dish.
For sure. But for every piece of Spam that hits that plate, you look at it and go, this is what the Spam is this, right? Now, I think we've we've had a couple, was it Bill Parcells that did if I'm going to make the meal, I might as well buy the groceries.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
It doesn't work very well, does it?
Not generally.
Some guys have done better than others, obviously, and in different eras of the game. I think that's a good way to point it out. Like that was once upon a time the way it was. and it gets you into
that was like the elevation of class. All right, now you trust me enough. Now I get to pick the players.
And it's interesting because it's caused issues one way or the other, because I think every great head coach eventually, Billy, wants to feel like, I want to see if I can do both jobs, and that creates some stress. I mean, Holmgren wanted it. That's one main reason he left Green Bay, went to Seattle. The Packers didn't want to give it to him because they had no success after Vince did it, right? And they had this belief that when Vince could do both jobs, that everyone should. The game just evolved. It was too hard. Then they had success separating it. So then it's like, no, this is the right way. But I think a lot of coaches, when they are successful coaching, have the ego of the hubris to say, I want to try and see if I can do both.
You can even see somebody doing it right now. Mike Vrabel is in command of I believe has somewhat final say of the roster there in New England, even though Elliott Wolf ended up picking all the players on day 3. Because somebody had the slap in the wrist, wasn't allowed into the draft room there on day number 3, but apparently that one doesn't necessarily matter. It's a slippery slope. It's a tough deal, but you saw Belichick do it really, really well for a time, and then swing and miss more than just about anybody in the draft on his way out. So It's not the easiest thing, but you guys got to be in lockstep. We'll see if they are coming up today.
He's shown the ability to handle 2 things at once, like Vrabel. So
yeah,
some would say 4.
Hey now. We spent the first hour talking baseball and the Brewers and how my contention that baseball is the most fun sport to follow when your team is good, because on one of those rare off days, and a much needed off day last night, you got to root against the Cubs, even though it didn't work out. And the White Sox lost in extras and PCA walked them off.
Goodness
At least you got the diversion, the dopamine hit that came from that. And then the Brewers are in 2 races now, holding off the Cubs and trying to hold off everybody else for the best record and one of the top 2 seeds. So you got like multiple pennant races going on and a lot of stuff to focus on, and it's just good theater. Now, Packers, we're still a month away from meaningful football, under a month, but we were just talking about the drama with Ketel Marte not showing up, and Packers are generally drama-free as an organization and in this camp. So I would ask Billy, heading into today's practice, you'll be covering it with Wayne, training camp live, kicking off at 11 o'clock, going till 1. Giving us the sights, sounds, and smells from what might be a damp day up there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the number one storyline in Packers camp right now?
Right now, it's got to be Keyshawn Nixon. And in the drama-filled category, Drew, I don't know how you would see it. I think we're making this a much bigger drama than it needs to be or is in all reality. Yes. But it's also a lot of fun, right? Like, I mean, I'm reading yesterday and like people are doing poll questions of, do the Packers need to cut Keyshawn Nixon? Does he need to be eradicated from the locker room? And then other people being like, he's our guy. Armin, sorry, we need to get behind him. He deserves some support and love and admiration. He's still
like
wearing
Murph
the G.
With
Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
So
Murph with Yelich, yeah.
Rarely, as you said, a month away from games, can we be this into how the guys go back and forth day in and day out? But Nixon is right there in that camp.
It was Trace Mack until last week in Pittsburgh.
He quieted that one down, and then somebody grabbed the microphone.
He quieted that down, and then the Keyshawn thing is fascinating because he's been a starter and he's been a lightning rod, and that's the drama. But there's other drama, like Anthony Belton, a little bit less
good little drama, yes.
And then the whole like the Banks thing, and like when's that guy going to get back out there?
And that one's getting spiced up, and that's one of those that we're going to get a little bit more answer to, I would assume, when Goody talks, because LaFleur. We learned a lot more about that. You can't talk about a lot of the injuries, but Goody is the one that signed off on moving and converting a lot of his money into a signing bonus and locking him in for the year. I wonder if he answers some questions about the tendonitis today.
Yeah, and Banks, like Aaron Banks, this is his last year, right? I mean, they'll end up cutting him after this year, unless he plays like at a Pro Bowl level, which show me.
Yeah, God bless. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
sure,
that'd be great. And then he deserves it. But so far, it's looking like a swing and a miss. Although they still have time. And that's where, man, I go back and I look at last year and you see how Jordan Morgan's handling left tackle. And you're like, why didn't they put him there last year? Right.
Yeah. Some of it was,
not right. Like Rashid was, tearing it up.
No, but I think the tough thing for Walker is, or Morgan, I should say, while Walker was playing there, I think they realized in the midst of it, how difficult it is for certain guys to go back and forth. They've just made it such commonplace to watch TJ Langs of the world play all 5 positions, learn all of them, and then go and start.
A little high expectation.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to ask for somebody that's played his entire life over on the left side. And now with a full off season and time dedicated to it, they were such in a rush, Drew, to get their first round pick on the field. Not unlike a lot of teams where maybe you probably could have pulled that lever last year if he had been practicing at left tackle and had been locked in at left tackle, but you were forcing him so much over to right guard that I don't know that it was the perfect time last year. I don't know you get the results right now that you're getting if he gets pushed last year, but it looks like they know what they had there, and apparent, hopefully, again, one rep of like 15 plays in one preseason game, but looks all right so far.
His camp
looks better than what it's been. Yeah.
His camp has been pretty good. The other thing and the other drama that's bubbling under the surface is Josh Jacobs.
And that one's going to be on like a slow simmer, right? That one to me is like on the burner on like a 2.
That's the low, high, and the medium low. That's the chili burn.
And and at what point do we find out what his status is? Like, is this injury a real injury? Is it a phantom? Is it like, where are we? Like, when can the guy play, and when will we know he's free and clear, or when will we know if he's in the woods of possible suspensions and stuff?
Well, they just gave out they being the NFL just handed out a handful of suspensions on this past Friday. A number of different team conduct detrimental to the league, personal conduct policy deals, and Josh Jacobs had seemingly avoided that first one. Now that was James Pierce, who, again, we're not putting these on a teeter-totter trying to scale them out. The James Pierce allegations were about as awful as you could get. There was a contacting with another car.
Yeah.
Police officers were there during the time. He got 8 games.
8 games.
So, and Josh Jacobs, the alleged acts that Josh Jacobs has apparently or allegedly done are heinous as well. I don't know where they would fall in line on the NFL scale, but that being said, we also saw, I keep going back to the Stephon Diggs one because it's the only one that continued to remain unresolved throughout. He played all year last year and went to the Super Bowl, and that happened preseason. So like there is some evidence for this to go on for a long time. I don't question the little bit of a ding for Josh Jacobs. Also the fact of, you don't need him to be running the football right now, right? Like out of the amount of times that he's going to run it, the carries he had last year, you don't need him to be going full speed and getting himself ready to roll. He's a veteran. He's played now 6 years. He understands what he needs to do to have his body ready to go. More than anything, you want to get this resolved, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I had mentioned it to Nags when we first talked about it on Carry the G Radio, the podcast. I'm like, I think there's a better chance that he's on another team when this all gets put to bed. Because much like Aaron Banks, the contract would signal that Josh Jacobs is probably done with the Packers after this year. The cap hit, the dead cap money, it all lines up mathematically that he is a free agent at the end of the year. And the way that these go and the way that the court systems and police investigations have moved, and this one at very much a snail's pace, you're just waiting to know. They want to get all the information possible. I don't think that you're seeing much resolved within the next 5 months at least. And at the most, I mean, you could be looking at upwards of 365 days or so. So I don't know that one is as difficult and as much of a time crunch, and they're waiting on something here. Again, I think the league is going to wait for the police investigation and all of the legal things to subside. And I don't know that we're close to that resolution. I don't know. I have zero information from the Hobart Police Department, but it doesn't seem like they're in a massive rush.
And we really got no information leaked through or anything like that. The closest thing was that kind of vague report that there may be punishment at some point for Jacobs, right?
Yeah, the Schefter of
maybe.
That was the closest.
He may or may not be suspended.
Yeah,
you just didn't. The only thing you didn't do it right with Drew was he may or may not be suspended. I have never heard somebody talk with full double spacing like Schefter does when he's doing the podcast.
A good way to look at that's a good way to say it, double spacing.
Yeah, he is a double space.
It's wild.
We learned that in Michigan, I'm sure.
Interesting, though, because, yes, I have no trouble envisioning the Packers going into next season without Josh Jacobs. And then, and possibly Aaron Banks. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, that if they can free up some cash, you can shake some coins loose and extend Xavier McKinney because he's becoming a dude who I don't know if you want to play without that guy right now.
Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams, right? Both of them, both right next to each other are going to be in that line
because he's homegrown. But
and you listen to and people are laughing at the radio and at their screens when they hear, "Holy cow, you guys on these streaming numbers! My goodness!" I walked into a party here after the 5 o'clock. Let's go! Lots of hundreds of people watching it on the stream as it should be.
Give me credit, but I don't know what happened.
No, they'll tell anybody that'll listen about how good of a year Lucas Van Ness is going to have. And even though he's got a 5th-year option tied to him next year, that position would, if he has a big year, probably lend itself to an extension. So, they're going to have guys that they want to extend. And you bring up Jacobs, McKinney 1 year, Banks, Hobbs the next year. Talk about the other end of the two ends of the spectrum, the polar opposites you can have in free agency. Sometimes you get another team's trash that turns into your treasure. Sometimes you get another team's trash that turns into trash.
And that one's a swing and a miss.
2 big whiffs after 2 big home runs.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, the same guys that you say screwed up that personnel move, they found Jagger Burton.
Found Burton, and it appears like he might be a great.
And Morgan looks like that's going to be their logic was not flawed. That he ended, like I said, if he ends up being your left tackle for 5 years,
then it's a win. And again, this is also a defense that last year, whatever the rankings ended up being, the way that they played in the first couple of weeks is hopefully the way that you're playing the final couple of weeks, right? Like when you get Parsons fully healthy and you're able to keep this core 3 safety look together, I think schematically their personnel matches how they want to play pretty dang perfectly. Now you're just going to have to be able to stay healthy and let it run and see where the chips fall, because it seems like Edgerrin Cooper is going to be in for a phenomenal year. And I think they got a couple more fail safes than they did a year ago. And that one might be Katana Ladapo when Javon Bullard. If Javon Bullard goes out, you no longer have to move 5 different pieces around. I think you just plug one in.
Slot and, that's seems like it's the recipe. 877-794-1973, your ticket to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. I got a guy who's hot, and Billy, he plays right field for the New York Metropolitans.
Ooh, my goodness.
The Mets last night, back-to-back, in the first inning, the Padres had traffic, and he threw out 2 guys from right field at the plate in the first inning. Back-to-back outfield assists to cut down runners at plate, including, I believe one of them was Machado.
Well, nobody is playing better than the Mets. So I don't know if this is going to save David Stern's gig. They've won 10 of 13, and apparently they're the only team that can slow down the Padres.
They're hot, and their right fielder threw out 2 guys. And then, shout out
Cronenworth and Machado back-to-back time.
To our buddy Kurt Hogue, who pointed out that the Padres got thrown out at home twice in an inning. The Brewers have been thrown out trying to score on a base hit once this season.
Yes.
Matt Erickson at third base.
Man, speak his name.
Matt Erickson has 1 guy cut down in the entire 125 games. The Padres have 2 in an inning.
That's incredible.
Now, Gasper was real excited about that.
Now, my theory of the case, though, and I say this, is that if you're a third base coach, you got to get guys thrown out because you got to push.
You got to be pushing the envelope. Yes.
If you're too conservative, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. I can remember at least
5
he's
just really adept.
Close calls in my head too.
They've got a bunch of close calls.
Yeah, the Brewers.
I mean, they have scored winning runs and
I was going to say
runs on close plays at the plate.
The Terang full extension, tapping just the far corner, and that freeze frame's phenomenal.
Bowers just recently.
I guess that makes me nervous now. Are we going to have a bunch go against us?
Will the regression to the mean hold? But
no, my anxiety.
So Matt Erickson has been hot at third base just with his decisions, and the Brewers have good base runners, and it's been, it's fun to watch. But I remember Dale Swaim when he was the third base coach in Boston. They were calling him the windmill, and he was getting guys thrown out, and the Boston Red Sox fans were ready to just run him out of town. I think that it was one of the years they won the World Series.
Sure.
Remember he was the problem, and he was like everything else was going good. So all the fans did was bitch about Dale Swaim.
About him.
Crazy.
It was like the Butch Weininger syndrome when the Brewers didn't have good hitters. It was Butch Weininger's
crazy
fault.
How much the slings and arrows that he took as the third base coach, just the lightning rod. But again, if you're a third base coach and you're not getting guys thrown out, are you pushing enough?
Well, it's like a defensive coordinator. Are you blitzing enough if you're not getting beat in cover 0 a couple of times?
Right.
Yes.
Right. If you're not getting beat over the top, are you pressing enough? I always like you got to force teams to make a play, because who knows? Maybe a catcher will Contreras one like he did a couple of days ago, and the ball ball just bounces right up out of his glove before he's about to have somebody dead to rights.
Gary and catch it behind the plate.
That was one of the tougher ones to see. Yes, 100%.
My man Luis Lauer had a a throw.
Gorgeous dime into home. So yeah, I'm with you. I want you to push the envelope, and I also would like. So apparently Daniel Vogelbach is that guy right now. Man, did I see a lot of freeze frames on Vogie and people being frustrated with the Brewers hitting coach situation. That's when you know you're a good squad.
Yes.
That is when you know you're a good squad.
They can focus
we
on
have flipped from everybody's venom towards Joey Ortiz. Let's find it to Daniel Vogelbach there into the bench.
NL MVP race is hot. Shohei and PCA both 2 homers last night. Now, they both do that every day. That's going to be a heck of a race.
And that PCA one last night, that walk-off, that place blew up. They went back-to-back in the first inning, too.
I really
What a game, too, by the way.
Because I thought the Sox were going to win after Benintendi's the homer. So
yeah. Who's not hot? The Cleveland Guardians continue to sputter, and they're on the fringes of that weird wild card race in the American League.
One of the strangest things that you possibly could have. And I also like Johnny Kribich had a good one for who's hot, who's not, Drew. Trey Smack will be the drama 5 more times this year easily.
Don't worry, guys.
Because he is hot right now.
It'll happen.
He went 4 for 4, 258 yarders. Just wait till what? 11:45 today on Training Camp Live, right around 12:15. Then we'll have the full update as to what he was today, and we'll let you know if he goes to the hot category or not category with Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling.
Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years, the sponsor of Who's Hot and Who's Not. Who's Hot? Us right now, based on our streaming. We love it. The party is growing. On what might be a rainy Tuesday. Hope Billy, it looks like you got a window to get practice in. You should be okay.
As coaches always say, Drew, there's always a window.
Always a
window. Always a window. Always a window.
No question. When we come back, Scott Dolphin is going to join the party. He's been out for the last couple of days. Our halftime correspondent is back at headquarters, and we will welcome Dolph to the party next year in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Back in the huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmidt is here on his way to practice. Training Camp Live starts at 11 o'clock with Wayne Larrabee in the perch. Armin's behind his glass partition. And our halftime correspondent is back. Scott Dolphin from the country station on the Hall, FM 106 is with us. Hello, Dolph.
I'm well rested, so I got that going for me.
You got that going
way
for
to
you?
brag.
Right,
good weekend, good weekend.
Not a bad weekend. Colonoscopy, annual 10-year visit on Friday, and then I went to my first ever Dolphin family reunion on Saturday. Had never been to one before. There's only been 3 total.
Really?
Yeah, so I drove off to Iowa for that and saw a lot of cousins I haven't seen in a long time, and some cousins I've never met before. So that was
That's kind of cool. How could you've never met certain cousins at that age?
It's funny because
I mean, they were they're distant cousins. So my immediate Dolphin cousins, there was only 3 boys in the family, my dad and 2 other brothers, and so that side is fairly small as far as the cousins go. But yeah, so it was fun meeting people I knew existed, but I had never met before.
I need to do that because my mom comes from a family of 13. And we're it's a pretty prominent Menominee Falls family.
Mm-hmm.
And so growing up, I had cousins everywhere. I was related to everybody.
Wow.
And I used to see them all the time and we'd have gatherings and stuff. And then as you age out, like never see them anymore. It's like never, once a year, once every 5 years at funerals. Now.
Okay.
That's just it.
Never see them.
Funerals and weddings and stuff like that.
Never see them.
You guys made me feel so much better because I just one of my first cousins, she just moved in to college. I'm like, okay, hold on, wait, what? And down in South Carolina, I'm like, dang, I feel like all of a sudden I blinked in their entire life.
I know.
But it was most of my 20s and difficult, a lot of not family reunions being attended at that time. With the little guys, we're just trying to find any chance to, like, a lot of his cousins in Arizona on my wife's side and things like that. Funerals most of the time, sadly, when you end up seeing them. But when those little guys just eye each other up, they're like, wait a second. There's another 2-foot one of me?
Yeah.
This is wild. This is wild. Okay, all right.
It's true.
Let's go throw rocks at the building and have some
The
fun.
best memories as a kid were hanging out with your cousins.
The greatest.
Oh,
The
yeah,
greatest.
it's the best.
And
We
the
love
thing is,
parents
for
were-
me, none of mine my first cousin lived in the state. So when we got a chance to see them, it was like our biggest event of the year. And it was so exciting and so happy because it's like winning. Like, you don't get desensitized by it when it doesn't happen. When you win every day, you get desensitized by it, right? But when you don't get a chance to have one moment in the sun and it's like, this is our week of our year.
Yes.
So we're going to hang out with our cousins. It's pretty cool. So,
and everybody circled this event, Armin. So, not everybody has made it back for weddings. I mean, my nephew lives in Australia. He actually came back for this one. And then I got another one in SoCal. So it was cool. Everybody came back for this event. We were all together, got some good pictures, and it was a lot of fun.
So I was getting ready to ask Dolph because when Tommy John passed last week, for some reason, I had it in my brain that he was an Iowa guy. He's from Terre Haute, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the Midwest, and I get pissed when people like in New York confuse Minneapolis and Milwaukee.
Sure,
It's like,
I know.
how can they
Sure.
do that? Like, how could I do that? For some reason, I had it in my head that Tommy John hailed from the great state of Iowa. He did not.
Terre Haute, which is home to Indiana State University.
Yeah,
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird right there,
I can tell you, as a kid growing up in the 1970s, Tommy John was pretty special to me because as a Yankee fan, the Yankees were terrible for the first 12 years of my life, whatever. And then free agency started, and the Yankees got catfish on it, and then they brought in Tommy John from the Dodgers. That was a big deal at the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then
so
Reggie and all those guys.
Reggie, and then they started winning some championships. But I'll always remember Tommy John. His demeanor, he just seemed like the greatest dude in the world. And they talked about him during the Dodgers Brewers season, and apparently that was true during that series. They said what a good dude he was.
Yeah, and so
Everybody then encountered him, said
he
that.
had the surgery, the groundbreaking surgery, and if it would have been like Joe Schlabotnik, it would have been the Schlabotnik surgery, right? It would have been, but it ended up being Tommy John.
Right.
And there are people who don't know who Tommy John was, but they just know, like, why is it called Tommy John? It's the surgery to reconstruct your elbow.
It's like it was him. It was an easy name to say.
Right. It's like Lou Gehrig. I mean, people know him more for the disease than what an unbelievable player he was.
Amen.
So I was wondering about that. That was going to be a topic last week, but we got bogged down as like stuff that's named after people. Like this cool stuff or quirky stuff that's named after people. Like there's the Mendoza line.
Oh,
in
yeah.
baseball.
Mendoza line.
It's the Mendoza line.
I had Hunter on my show last week, and we talked about that guy. I said, that poor SOB. And Hunter looked up his stats. Apparently, he ended up hitting like 217. So he wasn't even below his own line.
He was even better than
He played for a handful of teams, retired probably in, the 80s or something like that?
Someone said it should be the euchre line because he actually hit exactly 200.
As he said.
And he's a more interesting figure than Mendoza was.
Yeah, Euchre always said every fifth time to the plate, it was Katie bar the door.
Yeah. So, Euchre did hit 200, so it could be the euchre line. But, yeah, the Mendoza line. your Miranda rights, that comes from a guy's
Right.
name, the Miranda warning.
I mean,
like that.
there's probably more than you think that you don't even think about because you just say them naturally
Exactly.
without realizing it was a name.
I didn't know that the complete game under 100 pitches was called a Maddox until Miz threw one earlier on this year on Greg Maddox. Or in honor of Greg Maddox. That's a phenomenal one to have.
I'm trying to think of more.
How about the half lemonade, half iced tea?
The Arnold Palmer.
Right.
That's right.
Or throw a little vodka in there and call it a John Daly.
That's even better. on a hot summer afternoon.
Yeah. NBA
standing in front of the Blackstone.
We throw bird rights around a lot for NBA contract stuff.
I like
rights,
that.
Yeah.
I like
so
that.
there's probably a lot. You just don't think of them all. Like there's a lot more probably to think of.
Mm-hmm. Cy Young Award was the guy who has the most wins in baseball history.
That's true. Yeah, people don't know that's Cy Young.
The crazy one for Tommy John is that he's not in the Hall of Fame as a contributor. Like, let alone as a player, his numbers are pretty dang good.
He should have been probably as a player.
But like
almost 300 wins.
Yeah. But in the contributions to the game category that they put somebody in for a legacy award every single year, it's stunning that he wasn't a part of
We
that.
always say like you can't tell the story of this league without so and so. Well, you definitely can't tell the story of this league without Tommy John.
Well, here's the deal with pitchers nowadays too. If you have 230 or 240 wins, you're probably going in, right? Because who's going to win 300 games anymore? Probably nobody in our lifetime.
I don't think it'll ever happen
Wins have
again.
been
with the way innings are managed
now as a stat because it's kind of team dependent and all that. And it's kind of guy with a good bullpen might get a lot of wins. Guy with a bad bullpen can get screwed out of wins.
Yeah, and even to get that many decisions, I mean, it's like Nolan Ryan, Tommy John pitched till he was 46. Same deal,
300 wins used to be the standard, but that's long gone. Now, Verlander's probably the active leader, right? What does he have, Armin?
He's got to be. I'll check it. Well,
230, 240, 250, something like that.
Meanwhile, I did tell these guys before, you mentioned Cy Young. If you ever want to win a bar argument, like who's the best pitcher to never win a Cy Young award? Cy Young.
That's crazy.
11 wins. He never won the Cy Young award. They named it after him. So
that's a good one.
That's
Verlander as 266.
So 266. All right.
Scherzer, Garrett Cole, Sale, Sonny Gray.
Scherzer's a few down from him.
they're never going to get that.
And Verlander hanging it up this year. He's probably the last of the vintage, like not late into the 40s. What, he's 43 right now? And obviously his arm injuries have been a tough one. I think of like the oldest guy I remember playing baseball was Jamie Moyer.
Yes, in his 40s.
Because he was like 48 and still spinning.
Mariners.
Only through junk.
Cubs.
Yeah.
I remember Phil Niekro pitching.
Right.
In the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I remember coming to a game at County Stadium where the Yankees played the Brewers, and he was on the mound that night, and I think he was 48 or 49 years old. He pitched at 50, didn't he?
It's
amazing.
Did you ever hear the when they introduced him to the Hall of Fame and they kept going through all the teams he played for?
That's funny. That's hilarious.
The man couldn't hold a job,
I don't know.
Good.
Couple on the talking text line, people clowning us for not thinking of Lombardi Trophy.
Oh, duh.
No, because we all know who that's named after. These are ones you forget.
Oh, that's true.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Heisman, Doak Walker, like we know
that's a good one.
Well, we did just name off the Cy Young.
I guess, but everyone
You're right,
knows Vince Lombardi as the greatest figure in professional football. People don't think of. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, you mentioned Doak Walker, though. The college football awards. Most people alive today don't know who those people are.
Yeah,
Davey O'Brien.
Who's Fred Biletnikoff?
Come on. Hold on.
Actually, I
don't talk about number 21 smoking cigs in the tunnel before running out for the Super Bowl like
Mr.
that.
Stickum?
Fair enough.
Freddie Biletnikoff?
I know Fred Biletnikoff. Okay, fair enough.
I like that.
Phil Niekro pitched until he was 48. I want to
48,
say. Well, hold on.
That's
I'm gonna get you. You know what? I didn't have a 48.
No.
Yes, I didn't have that fact yet.
How about
but I do have it now. 48.
Here's one for Billy with a sweet tooth. A German chocolate cake was not invented in Germany. It was invented by a Texas homemaker named Mrs. George Clay, who submitted a recipe, and it's named after Samuel, German and American chocolate maker who created a sweet baking chocolate bar for Baker's Chocolate in 1852.
Whoa! All right,
German chocolate cake, not German at all.
Not German at all.
No.
I would have never known that.
And that goes along the same line as French fries. They're American as well, aren't they? I believe.
Sure. Yeah, French fries and French toast, right?
Right.
They're actually not making French toast in France. I found that out when I went overseas. And thought, wait a second.
They're big crepes people over there.
Which I don't know how you guys feel. Not nearly as good.
No, give me French toast.
Not nearly as good as a pancake, a French toast. Right. Crepes are cool. The guy that makes them, awesome. Congratulations on your ability to fold on the flat iron that much. It's tremendous. Not that good.
Exactly right.
You can have that take. It's buy or sell Tuesday. You can have that take. That's fine.
That's
I
right.
don't have a problem with it, Billy.
All right, so
I don't have a problem with it.
Jess on the talking text line said more like Tommy John Surgeon should be in the Hall of Fame. Well, as it happens, Dr. Frank Job was recognized in the Hall of Fame in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he performed more surgeries on pitchers or baseball players that than
Frank
probably
Job
anybody else in the history of the
There
planet.
was the Curlin Job Clinic, and Curlin gets no run. But
It was Alabama, right? Didn't they all go down?
I think they were out of L.A. And then
who's the one in Alabama?
Andrews. Was
Andrews.
The guy.
Yeah,
he
Dr.
worked
Andrews.
he worked under Job and then set up shop in Birmingham. So he became the next generation of fixing guys.
Yeah, the Tommy John surgery. If you had that injury before that, it was like your career's over.
Yeah, now it's maintenance, right?
Done. Yeah, now it's happening. It's like now you're back in 9 months, throwing off the hill.
Yep.
Okay, Boston cream pie was invented in Boston. All right, that was my one shot at a
How about Boston baked beans?
That was my one shot.
Of course, we know Kentucky Fried Chicken was from Kentucky, right? The Colonel.
Well,
the Colonel.
KFC
Sanders.
Yum Center.
Lemon herbs and spices.
Absolute legend. There's a KFC in Armenia.
There's a KFC in Reykjavik,
Armenia?
Iceland that I found out a couple
Really?
weeks ago.
There's actually, that's one of the brands that's more
Imagine what the
international.
drive-through was at that KFC when they first opened.
Oh my god!
And think of what the Armenians think. So I noticed this right away. There's a big picture of Colonel Sanders with that, Southern-looking gentleman white jacket and that bow tie on, right on the sign.
It's not much different than during the World Cup when everybody wanted to go to Waffle House, I think, and Denny's and stuff. I think it's a novelty, right? I mean, I get it.
45-minute wait to get in there for the chicken. These people have been denied their KFC for far too damn long.
What is the other big fried chicken place in Armenia behind KFC?
Well, I don't think there is. I mean,
Sarians?
you just had their own
Sarians
place.
fried
Yeah. It's not like, I don't think Popeyes is competing.
No.
I mean,
There weren't the fried chicken wars in Armenia?
I don't think, they have chicken.
They got Chick-fil-A yet?
They have people cooking it. Like, that's just, they have different people's restaurants.
They got to get a Chick-fil-A.
It's actually nice because they have a bunch of, they got to get Chick-fil-A. That'd be very nice.
Can you imagine all the people in Armenia
You can
going
get
nuts when they
MGD.
got a spicy chicken?
Like, I haven't been there in a while, but you could get MGD. It was like the most expensive beer was Miller Genuine Draft.
You know what's weird about MGD is when we go to the Dominican Republic, it's all over in the bars there. I don't even know if you can get one in Milwaukee anymore. Can you?
MGD is not a common, but
I thought they kind of did a reissue, but yeah, it's been
Toured
very rare.
internationally.
It's been dormant for a while.
And there was a billboard for Miller. It was like local marketing was all right. Let's go. Let's get a piece of that. But anyway,
Anyway, for anybody slagging on us, yeah, it's kind of a given. The Lombardi Trophy, the Heisman Trophy, they're named after people. Those are pretty well known. The Cy Young Award.
People probably don't know Heisman anymore either, right?
okay, Lamar Hunt Trophy. I mean, there's just trophy. Every trophy is named after somebody, right? The Hallis Trophy. I don't like bringing that one up.
Lamar Hunt was the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
And one of the biggest founders and reasons why they ended up doing the merger back
The AFL, right? Yeah.
I just like thinking of the ones that no one thinks of, that you use that term as the name and you don't even realize.
What about the Lady Bing Trophy?
See, I don't even know what that is.
That's the
Hockey.
that's the for the gentleman
For the sportsmanship
award in the
Lady
NHL.
Bing
Who was
Lady
Conn
Bing.
Smythe?
Probably a Canadian. That's my
Right.
guess.
Probably.
Yeah. He was
I
kind of
know.
like the Curly Lambeau of his
Yeah.
day.
He was like Fred Maple that invented maple syrup.
Canadian businessman, soldier, and executive in NHL hockey and horse racing. Best known to be the principal owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL
There you go.
from 1927 to 1961.
That's a run, man.
That's goodness gracious. Right off of World War I, this guy was dominating.
Are there any like home or garden tools or like processes that are named after people that we're not
Garden
thinking
Weasel.
of? I see that's the
a
thing.
friend of a friend of mine. His
I'm not-
nickname was the Garden Weasel.
John Deere. Who's John Deere? Was he a person?
He was a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like Harley and Davidson. He was
Yeah,
one
but
of
you
these-
never see Davidson never gets the credit because
Allison Chalmers.
everyone's riding Harleys. They're not riding
Well,
Davidsons.
yeah, you're right. But Harley was kind of the guy that was lost to time, right? The Davidson family are the ones that kind of wore the Harley Davidson.
true.
They
That's
took
true.
on the ambassadorship.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
William Harley, was that his name?
It'd be like Mill and Blaine, Fleet Farm and Farm and Fleet.
That's a good one.
Right.
You want to talk about one of the
Yeah.
greatest frustrations and confrontations over business back in the day?
That's a rivalry right there, man.
And you know what's funny to me
Get confused. Go ahead,
is the people are big time team Blaines or
Blaines.
big time team Mills. One or the other. You can't have both.
I had never been to a Fleet Farm. Then I had
Yeah, but
game over.
Did you go to a Farm and Fleet? See, that was the thing that
Well,
confused me.
because Fleet Farm is more not in the southeastern portion of the state. It's pretty much everywhere else. In the state.
They're here now.
Yeah, now they are. But
Yeah.
like growing up, the closest one I think Oconomowoc.
Germantown, I think, has one, don't
sweet.
they?
Okay, now I'm talking.
Fleet
Now
Farm.
we're talking. But once you walk into a Fleet Farm, you understand why the rivalry exists.
Oh, yeah.
That place is pretty dang impressive.
Oh, it is.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Oh, you'll love this, Dolph. And you missed it yesterday. A friend of mine went to his first state fair, and you go to the expo hall and you see all the products, the mops, the salsa makers.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, this is like a Costco on meth. And I'm like, that is so dead on. Describe it, because otherwise you can't describe it to somebody. Like, what's it like? There's samples, there's this, there's that, there's a water tub, and then there's a mattress, and then there's like a garage door, and then there's like what?
They used to have live entertainment too over on
yeah.
the one side where you can get a beer and watch.
I was
going to
say there used to be some lumberjack games going on, running on some logs.
Yeah,
that was the line of the week. Was Costco on meth?
You can get it. You can get a wedding ring. You can get maybe some designer clothing
and get you some Bucks tickets.
We're
always giving people Bucks tickets.
And the Bucks don't have the milk barn anymore.
They handed that one off.
They handed that off.
After Senator Cole. That was
it was no longer the Bucks used to have the milk barn.
Senator Cole's I can't remember her name now. One of his chief of staffs, main secretary, main handler. She would come by, and every year when we'd be doing it, just let everybody know. Senator loves this milk barn. Senator takes a loss on the milk barn every single year.
Sure.
Senator takes a massive loss on the milk barn every single year. I'm like, I'm not an economics major. I'm only a junior in high school. I can do that math.
Well, it was
that is going to be a loss.
Was it like a quarter a cup? Wasn't it?
Quarter a cup. Oh, yeah. But every time that Senator Cole got to walk by there, the smile on his face.
I bet.
You're thinking of the great, she was his right and left hands. Joanne.
Yes. Joanne, thank you.
Joanne Anton.
I kept wanting to say Joni, but Joanne.
Joanne Anton was.
She was just the sweetest. And the Senator was phenomenal.
Yeah, quarter a cup. And the thing is, what was expensive is getting the right flavored cows.
Oh, sure.
It's hard to find a strawberry cow.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of root beer cows anymore.
That was my favorite, by the way.
That was
the right choice, too, by the way. That was the right choice.
Well,
anybody that said strawberry milk was the best one was wrong.
Well,
the root beer milk was
never
by
made root beer
far
quick.
the
They did
best.
sell a lot of strawberry.
They did sell strawberry.
I like the mint. Didn't they have like a mint chip milk or a mint milk or something like that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yes.
But not everyone did. That's an acquired taste. Will says Italian ice not originated in Italy, but I don't know if I'm not confirming that on the internet. I'm saying Sicily roots, so I don't really know.
Not exactly sure.
I'm sure everyone drank ice.
Well, yeah, that's true. And now Dolph's back on solid
It's
foods.
water.
He no longer has to have.
And of course, I became a glutton as of Friday afternoon.
What was your first meal?
Well, okay, I wanted to get a big pizza, but the nurse said, "Don't do it; it's going to tear you up." And so instead, we got some. I got some homemade clam chowder with some bread and salad. Just kind of eased my way back into the pizza.
Don't get a
They
pizza.
never
Get
warned me
shellfish.
like that after a colonoscopy. I was like, I'll stop at Cops on the way home and get a face burger.
That's what I was
just go
going
right
to do.
in.
Just jump
Goodbye.
right in.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Dolph, good to have you back. Thanks for
fellas.
holding it down with us at halftime here of the Huddle. When we come back, we'll have our current electric superhero of the day, and then Billy's going to slide down the back of the dinosaur and drive to Green Bay for Training Camp Live, which gears up at 11 o'clock. Wayne Larrabee and Billy Schmid chopping it up at Rainitzke Field today. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armin huddled up on a Tuesday. Bringing it to you. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Time for a current electric superhero of the day. I don't know, man. Do we have to give it to PCA? We're talking about how great it was. I mean,
not my hero.
How about
heroic?
How about a heroic move for Keenan Allen getting back into the NFL? Hey, 6-time Pro Bowler signs a deal with the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, see, that's better than PCA or
Debo
Carson
and,
Benjamin.
How about
Debo and Stephon Diggs got landing spots before he did.
Before Keenan Allen, right? Now, this is the beautiful time, Drew, where you wonder if he's had opportunities and Keenan Allen said, you know what I'd really prefer not to do? The first 3 weeks of training camp, right? Like I'd really prefer to just come on in and play whenever we actually are going to get close to games. But there's still a number of players that are available over on the free agent market. I know a lot of Packers fans going in on our conversation a little earlier on about Josh Jacobs, wondering on the free agent running backs that would still be available. There's a number of guys and guard Kevin Zeitler, whose name is still, floating out there of somebody who is remaining unsigned. That would be a very, very interesting one of the players that are still sitting out there, still available. If something doesn't go right with your squad, break glass in case of emergency. There's some guys out there. Jonnu Smith at tight end. I think a lot of Packers fans had wondered with their issues over in the tight end room if there would be any calls made to him. Nags mentioned it to Brian Gutekunst a couple of maybe last week in the last media availability, saying how difficult is it for you to, or it was in their sit down Cheese at TV over at Banky's house. Go and check that one out. It's really, really good. How do you go through camp and see mistakes and not just immediately call Kevin Zeitler? He's like, how do you have more patience than that? Because I'd be on the phone with his agent all the time. Interesting thought. But yeah, probably the hero of the day is probably Pete Armstrong, even though we'd prefer not to talk about the walk-off home run.
I don't want to hear.
Yeah. Ellie De La Cruz walked it off of the Reds.
There you go.
How about Packers have Menashe's football team in? They were wrecked by the tornado.
Menashe football team on Sunday?
Yeah, is that yeah. So that counts.
That's better. Yeah.
I saw Watson spending time with those boys, so
let's
make them the heroes, Packers.
But really, the real heroes are Current Electric. The superheroes are Current Electric. Call current.com. Generator, if you need some outdoor lighting work. Any real lighting in your home, Current Electric is your home for electrical problems. Go to callcurrent.com.
Love it. Billy, safe travels up to Green Bay. Enjoy your time with Wayne watching practice. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Be safe, boys.
All right, we got another hour. We're going to buy or sell next in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. We start with college football. The Badgers now inside of 3 weeks until the start of their season. One position that's always front and center in Madison is running back. Last season, Nate Palmer was a freshman at TCU. Now he's ready to show Wisconsin what he's got. This fall, he's impressing head coach Luke Fickell.
Nate is a guy that maybe in the spring showed a little bit, but still we didn't know who we had and who he is. We were just getting to know each other. And today was actually a really big day for Nate because he got dinged up early. He got rolled up in a team setting early in practice, and they took him off and said, I'm not sure if he can come back. And you kind of challenged him to say, hey, can you go? And he came back out here and really did a good job the second part of practice. And some guys don't understand, like when you want to know, when you're trying to find out about guys, that's what you're trying to find out.
Moving on to baseball, the Brewers, after taking yesterday and last night off, are back home and back in action tonight, playing host to the Mariners. Last night, the Cubs beat the White Sox 7-5. The Brewers lead 4.5 games. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio.
Good
Wisconsin.
morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep send our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, cutting and cracking. It's the Huddle, churning into the 7 o'clock hour. Welcome in, folks who are just getting up now. We've been at it since 5, along with the people who wait for the health club to open. And then the 6 o'clock clubbers, that's a more conventional wake up time. But if you're getting up at 7, no shame in this game. You get up at 7:30, no shame.
No shame.
We're glad you're in the Huddle.
And that's instructive, Drew, because you don't have to listen live either. For instance,
That's very true.
Jay Arkin or Jarkin 924 on YouTube, listening on delay a bit, but French fries were invented in Belgium. So there you go.
Well,
A discussion we had a half an hour ago.
Freaks.
That's something you can do if you're watching us on the video stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X. You can watch us on delay as well. You can watch us over the air or, of course, in the iHeartRadio app.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
It's fantastic, the ways you can get to us today. And many people are, thanks to the 1,200 and counting, listening to us right now.
We like it. 877-794-1973. Your
Watching
ticket
us.
to the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Going to do a little buying and selling right now on a buy or sell. Tuesday, and I'll open the bidding as I often do. Do you buy or sell the notion Armin said that you can't disrespect the pizza parlor? I mean, not the pizza. That's a Sopranos reference. Can't disrespect the bleachers. No fighting the bleachers. Huge fight last night in the Cubs-White Sox game.
Another one. Now that one doesn't
Wrigley
surprise me.
Bleachers
right?
brawl.
Isn't that? Think of night game Cubs-White Sox Wrigley Field. Isn't that defined like the petri dish of bro central? Like the absolute night games where they're drinking. It's Cubs-White Sox, so there's all that interplay and rivalry, and a bunch of Chicago suburban guys just going at it. Like that is just the petri dish of bro central.
I was talking to a friend of mine who is a Milwaukee native, grew up in Tosa, and he moved to LA many, many, many years ago.
Okay.
But he comes back once in a while. And he was back and I was chatting with him and he said, yeah, I'm still flying the flag, but I would never wear a Brewers t-shirt or jersey to Dodger Stadium. I'm like, well, yeah, of course you wouldn't, because that is not a place where you would.
But see, I don't think I would have
That's
a problem
the
with
hostile environment.
You wouldn't do it? I would. You just have to know you're not going to engage in no one's going to fight with you. No one's going to sucker punch you in the concourse. They will mess with you. I know, but you have to be complicit. If you get in a fight, I'm sorry, you are complicit in the way you're acting. Like that's been my whole theory about this. I went to Philly and wore a Brewers shirt. Okay. It wasn't necessarily pleasant. Like people weren't like, hey, high-fiving me and taking pictures of me, but nobody was like going to push me down.
In Wisconsin, they'll offer you a beer and hand you a bribe.
That's true. We're a lot more friendly. You might get like razzed. I mean, you'll get heckled.
But you're right. That's a target-rich environment. Cubs, White Sox, the warring factions, the alcohol.
A tight game.
I mean,
right?
You can't even go to State Fair without a fight breaking out on the last night.
Unfortunately,
major brawls.
Very true.
On several fronts, just crazy. But you had said no fighting in the bleachers. Well, there is when the White Sox are in town. Just saying. And Brewers fans used to fight with White Sox fans. Brewers fans and Cubs fans. There's always dust ups at American Family Field. I don't know. Sometimes people just can't handle it. They can't handle their, the intensity.
And as humans, sometimes you can't just sit and take it. Like we can't just sit and, let it go, turn the other cheek. Not when alcohol is involved, not when pride and hubris is involved. And that's how these fights start. But it's a petri dish. I mean, you're not going to have 3 hours of trash talking without somebody saying something that's finally going to trip a trigger, especially in the bleachers. So I guess there was fighting in the bleachers, especially a tight game like that, like a seesaw game where there's emotional swings. It wasn't like a 10-0 rout early on.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to a game actually at Wrigley, which surprised a lot of people. Like my wife couldn't believe it, Drew. Like I told her, I said, of all the games to be at that don't involve the Brewers, that would be a fun one to be at. Cubs Sox, to watch the warring factions. And I said, I hadn't been to a game at either stadium. She couldn't believe that. So I don't know, maybe one day. We talked earlier in the show about how great baseball is because it gives you action every day. And even the nights it doesn't give action, it gives one of your opponents that's involved in the pennant race action. Like, and there are a lot of games when they'll be like, I don't care about Mariners, Rockies. I don't care about Angels, A's. But the Sox Cubs would be a fun one as a neutral observer to go to and observe.
Yeah. I suppose, you just cheer for both teams to lose.
Yeah. Jeff in Fitchburg, I had Brewers gear on in LA a few weeks ago, but the Dodgers were playing the Red Sox. So I did feel like I had a road team army behind me if they cause any problems. Yeah, that's true too. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Pretty interesting.
Are you buying or selling that the Live Tour is done forever?
And there might be somebody funding it.
They just pulled the plug on their last event of the 2016 season.
It was a disaster. It always was. It was always a money grab for the players that were involved. For the lower level guys, I couldn't at the time blame them for changing their family's life with this ridiculous money they were getting. But it was always going to be a mess, and it clearly is. And I think it's going to be a stain on legacy for certain golfers.
Within 4 years, it's gone. The Saudi Arabia's public investment fund withdrew its funding, and they're basically shutting down. But there's a guy.
I'm glad it failed.
There's a Baghdad Bob involved, the Live Golf CEO, Scott O'Neill. By concluding the season now, we can just put our full resources behind what comes next and maintain the operational rigor this transition demands. Yeah, right. We are reimagining Live Golf as a fundamentally new league owned by the players and anchored in a sustainable business model with an evolved fan experience built for the markets where the game is growing fastest across the globe and the support of world-class partners. yeah, you ain't making it.
Didn't work, and it
Didn't
proves
work.
it proves once again that fans of a sport, fans of the game, sports fans generally don't want too much change in the way their games have been. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the reality. You can make small changes over time, and every sport has, and that's the way things have evolved. But golf fans, especially, Drew, cling to their tradition as tightly as a child would cling to a stuffed animal. I mean, they cling to their tradition. They cling to these dumb
Live
rules.
Tour, you can't match like the Masters.
You can't match it.
Can't match it.
And
It's
when
like,
you try, and the idea
let
was,
them wear shorts and play music and have teams.
We're going to try and change the rules, and maybe it can be a niche sport, but that's all it was in the end. And it wasn't going to work.
Yep.
And who was going to watch? People don't want to watch certain things that are not. We saw this during COVID when a lot of leagues tried to do mini seasons, and a lot of fans looked at it and said, these aren't real games. This is just a little novelty in the meantime. I think that's how people looked at the live situation.
All right. Are you buying or selling that the glory days of Nike are over?
I'm selling that. That's a great question. And I know that's been part of the discussion last year in sports memorabilia and sports merchandising. I think Nike's a brand that I want to say is as close to Teflon as it gets for sports brands, but they have dropped an interest in market value, right?
They have lost 80% of their market cap in 5 years.
So there's no question that they've taken a hit. So and me saying, by the very nature, saying they're Teflon, it sounds silly, but isn't that a lot of it because of the business decisions they made and how they pivoted? No one, but the culture doesn't still look at a Nike tag and say that's a dorky thing to wear.
It's getting there.
I don't know.
Hoka's on Cloud.
Well, those are good. Those are good shoes.
For a while, Under Armour's lost some sizzle as well.
A lot of it. People like Hoka's, Brooks, On Clouds a lot now as well. And there's always going to be new players.
There was a major motion picture with major stars made about the Jordan.
I know.
Brand
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. And I don't care about movies much usually. I would complain to Matt Miller all the time that it wasn't like a more popular movie. I was like, this is a great movie. I just think there's still value in the Nike. When people think what shoe do I want to be associated with in sports? Because the Brooks and the Hokas and stuff are good for walkers and casual wearers and people, like us that want comfortable shoes. I get it. And runners. But I don't know. There's not going to be like a Hoka shoe deal for an NBA athlete.
One analyst said Nike was a brand defined by Michael Jordan's competitiveness and machismo, and with a heavily male customer base. Then they thought they could double in size if they could be that and also be Lululemon at the same time.
Yeah, maybe.
But instead, they stopped being that while failing to be Lululemon, and now they are nothing.
But I don't agree.
Upstart competitors ate their lunch while they destroyed their brand and their reputation.
I don't agree with that. You're still not going to find that much Nike at Ross or at there's some stuff there.
Some stuff there.
Well, but I got to go more than I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a failing brand. I mean, it is failing in the sense that it's lost money. Okay, I get it. But like some of that had to do with the way they shifted to online during the pandemic and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, the app. Try to sell through the app instead of through the brick and mortars. And yeah, that was
They do have a problem with the fact that there was a culture and shift trend. I've researched this too much, clearly. People were like, why
the commercials, like
they were into like the marketing, the lifestyle, all that stuff. You're selling an image. And then people wanted comfortable footwear. There was a trend of like the Hokas and the Brooks, and Nike did not do good enough with their walking and running stuff. Now, I think that some of the new ones are better, but they didn't do a good enough with that, and that's what's brought them behind. But I just think a brand like that will recycle and come back up again. It's just hard for me to believe.
What they're trying to do is restructure, and I was reading this, that the new CEO, John Donahoe, they're moving away from classic discrete sports categories like Nike baseball, Nike basketball, Nike soccer, in favor of a system where all products are shoveled into 3 divisions: men's, women's, and kids.
Okay, I don't get the difference, I guess.
They're emphasizing gender over sport. Like, Nike Golf was Nike Golf, Nike. And so
they're emphasizing like
Tiger Woods thing is
lifestyle is like Sunday, right?
Gone now is the model of product appealing to basketball fans because they're basketball fans. It's now replaced by a model of, say, the product appealing to women because they're women.
Mm-hmm.
Women buy the lion's share of clothing in the United States, and female shoppers are.
And they've been more into the On Cloud, the Hoka, the Brooks. Women's athleisure brands are just exploding.
While women shoppers are market dominant in nearly every aspect of American apparel, Nike, according to its own records, men count for roughly twice as much revenue as women.
Yeah. It is very
So
important.
they misjudge their own audience, kind of.
Well, maybe, but I just always see kids wearing Jordans still, I guess. And I don't know. I guess Jordans are probably still popular. That's probably the one thing. But the lack of innovation everywhere else has been. And then again, the classic Nike crew neck is probably one of the most standard looking classics there is. So I don't know.
Champion is.
No, people aren't. Champion. Now that's a brand that went out.
That's classic. Champion's more popular now, probably.
Not really for like lifestyle wear, is it?
Yes, it is.
No way.
Where are you hanging out?
Yeah, Champion they had moments. They had a couple moments.
I think Champion's better than Nike now.
You talking about like for like reverse weave sweatshirts?
Sweats and yeah, absolutely.
Okay, they have
t-shirts. I see more Champion t-shirts around than Nike.
They have quality brand, but there's zero chance more people are wearing Champion than Nike. Like they might be wearing Champion branded stuff from like college. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. We'll have to disagree on that. That's a sell for me. Okay. Yeah. But a lot of people are selling Nike. Literally, that's been their problem.
Yeah.
Right there. Well, this is a good one.
Yeah. The whole arc of Nike is funny, but it doesn't matter as much as it used to.
Maybe that's true. That's definitely true. Jeff says, one of my 18-year-old boys has worn black Nike since he was 6. Last week, he bought white Lululemon sneakers. It sure shocked me. Yeah. I mean, those brands, Viore, there was so much a shift to athleisure that there have been more brands popping up, and people will follow the culture and what's popular. And those brands are popular. Whether they have the staying power Nike did for 40, 50 years, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah. People say that Nike is like a woke company and stuff, and they built their monopoly on sweatshops, and it's like, I don't know, man.
I mean, that was a controversy when I was in college 20 years ago. People were saying, don't buy Nike or buy this. So I don't know that that's really it. I think that's lip service for most people. I think they just want to buy what's popular. I mean, that's how I feel. I think people would rather look cool than actually. And sometimes like having a conscience is looking cool, right?
I think
Tom's,
Nike.
Remember Tom's?
In some way, Nike might have just gotten too big.
Yes,
at
I
a
agree
point,
with that.
and then it was like, but then the missteps kept flowing.
And too American. Like overseas, people aren't wearing Nike much.
Well, they're trying to get into China. That's the big market.
But I mean, like Europeans don't wear Nike. I don't think much. And that's a big.
Are they big? Were they big during the World Cup? The soccer are they making soccer stuff that's up to par?
I mean, they
try. Adidas
they make it. They try, but Adidas still has a. I don't know. I guess I'm sure a lot of people have opinions on this, but
yeah, it used to be a brand. Like Under Armour was the cool brand that all the kids were bugging their parents to get, and then they kind of got watered down. And now we're just talking about Farm and Fleet Farm. That's where you find a bunch of Under Armour
now
stuff.
You can find all that stuff on sale. I mean, it's functional still for some people, I'm sure, and if you can get a deal. Paul, you want to see Paul K here on YouTube? I really don't like it. He wanted to talk about the Cubs and the White Sox thing. I really don't like it when the Cubs beat the Brewers and the Chicago fans wave the W flag. If they lose, then they should have no problem Brewer fans waving the L flag. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, that's been a debate always. We don't like other fans in our space as sports fans. That's where rivalries come from.
Tommy and Stalis weighing in on the fashion thing. I have 3 kids, 20, 19, and 17. Champion is definitely more popular than Nike. I'm sorry, Armin. It's not 1998 anymore.
There's no way, Tommy. There's no way.
Yeah, there is.
Well, okay, how do you define more popular?
Just walk up. What do I see around the street? I see more people wearing the big Champion logo, the big C stuff.
Okay, I saw that.
Their whole line.
There was a stretch like 6 years ago, maybe, or 8 years ago. I think they were.
It's still.
Well, I guess I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, you're not seeing.
I'm not seeing it.
Well,
I don't even know where to get it.
You're hanging around.
You get it at Target. You can't get Nike
anywhere.
at
Get
Target.
it online. Get it on Prime Day. There's the Champion outlet stores.
But there's no way.
Champion outlet stores doing the business that probably Nike isn't.
It can't be more popular if you can get it at Target. Target's like a big
Target's
box.
like one of the number 1 retailers in the country.
Yeah, but Drew, that makes it that's a lower brand to people. Like you can't get Lululemon at Target. You can't get like Viore at Target. So that's my point. I don't know. We'll have to disagree on this one. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Champion is like it's always been a constant. It's kind of like
definitely a constant.
Like the Chuck Taylors in certain circles never go out of style.
If you were to get like a team sweatshirt or a college sweatshirt, Champion reverse weave was the best. It was the best
quality, the best.
So I agree with that.
Yeah.
I just don't know that it's more popular to people. I don't know. Well, I don't know why.
It's fashion because you want to be. People want to identify with the brands, and that's just it. That's the whole premise: is that Nike isn't the cool brand anymore. Part of it, maybe Tiger Woods, his fall from grace.
But Nike
They still
also
have the Jordan brand, and
Yeah.
Jordan is untouchable. But the rest of it, and runners now, they buy Brooks. They
runners
buy
definitely
Sauconys.
do.
They buy,
Yeah.
you know, that
Nike
not,
struggle with runners. And
that's
with
what I'm
walkers.
saying.
I
And so-
definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and then like just even with the fashion stuff though too. Plus, the stuff's pretty expensive. It's not as good as it quality wise.
Definitely expensive, yeah.
Private equity ruins everything.
But every major sport in the U.S. is Nike jerseys. NBA, MLB now. And,
Yeah, but
well, doesn't that mean something?
Well, what were they before?
Football.
Did it mean anything for Majestic?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you're right. But it seemed like
Or
everyone
Reebok
wanted to go
or
with Nike.
other brands have had
NFL
jerseys.
You used to be able to pick by team. That was the best part of the 90s. There was like 9 or 10 in NFL, like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know that. Does Nike is it even associated? It's just so everywhere. Is it even cool? Like, you know.
So it's too.
I don't know.
So it's too saturated in the market, maybe in that sense. In terms of seeing it on jerseys and
The
stuff.
whole Just Do It thing. They used to have cool spots, and it was
No,
a
they
cool
did.
brand. It's not cool anymore.
They definitely did. I mean, the marketing was cool back then, and
That's what I'm saying. It was a lifestyle. It was part of and they just lost it. They lost touch.
That might be true,
And that's why they've lost
money.
80% of market cap in
Yeah.
5 years.
Dead Man TV. It's okay. Armin is just getting old. Old
Yeah.
guy boomer status doesn't know what to style the youth. Maybe I am just getting
You're
old.
just clinging to
I don't like to
what
think
you
that, but
remember.
maybe.
Well, Armin never got rid of his starter jackets.
Well, those are cool again. All the 90s stuff is cool again.
It
If you would have
comes
kept all your
full
90s windbreakers, people were paying a mint for those on the internet. The sweatshirts I got in the Kohl's sale rack are now being sold in the Packers Pro Shop for like $80.
So Nike's all-time high in terms of stock was 2021. And
Yeah, it was there. I mean, it was exploded.
and yesterday it slid down to 2014 levels.
Yeah, they had the direct to the consumer marketing thing that didn't work, and then that
So,
really dropped them
yeah.
off.
So it's down.
So just 5 years ago was their best. Maybe they were just too saturated.
Down 75%.
Well, that's just crazy. That's just bad business, isn't it?
Yeah.
But isn't that an opportunity? Isn't it going to go back up? That's too much.
If you're a Nike stockholder, are you holding it or are you
You got
selling
it.
it?
You
or-
can't sell it now. It's not worth selling it. I think it's got to go back up. Nike is too
I mean,
common.
13 years ago, you could buy a share of Nike stock at $38, and that's where it is right now.
So there you go. Opportunity to buy. We're talking economics here.
Yeah, well,
on the huddle now.
a 12-year low. But hey, you know.
That's an interesting. I love this type of discussion. The merchandising, like you could say how much has Fanatics killed it, because a lot of the Nike stuff is made with Fanatics, and a lot of people don't associate Fanatics with quality anymore. So maybe that hurt their reputation. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
this is a fun one. I don't know. This is a good one.
That's
I
wild.
like it.
877-794-197.
Nike made $46 billion in revenue last year. They can't be doing that bad.
Hit us with your buy or sell propositions. Maybe it's just the University of Oregon has torpedoed it with all the uniforms and all the weirdness.
It could be a saturation factor.
Could
Jess
be.
Man says it's a buy. Stock tips today in the huddle.
If you want to buy
Yeah.
it, feel free. Feel free, but man. By the way, like the Caitlin Clark ones are still not out for sale.
That's a problem. They've waited way too long. They messed that up big time.
Quality is tanked, and they could have sold a lot of shoes. Just saying. And Giannis still with them.
Yeah. That's a big name for them internationally. And his shoes are more affordable than the rest of them. We'll do more buy or sells, Drew. I want to do a couple buy or sells on Brewers Mariners.
Let's go.
AL memories. We got a lot to get to.
Lots to get to. It's Buy or Sell Tuesday. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Armin bringing it to you. Billy on his way up to cover Packers training camp. Training camp live airs at 11 a.m. on these here airwaves and interwebs. Check it out.
Should
Voice
be
of
great.
the Packers, Wayne Larry, sitting with Billy in the perch.
Great weather day as long as it doesn't rain up there. I'm sure it'll be great. Low humidity. That's been the big thing this week. It feels
Running
just
out
wonderful.
of free training camp practices to watch, too. I think after today, 2 left. So if you haven't made the pilgrimage yet, you should do it.
Time's running
Armin,
out.
you've never been to Wrigley or Comiskey Guaranteed Rate Field in
I've
Chicago.
been there, but not for games. Went to concert at Wrigley, and I've been to Guaranteed Rate, like driving by, obviously, and walking. But I've never been in there for a game. No, I have not. Isn't that crazy? For some people, it is, I guess. Maybe it's not crazy, but
maybe.
Yeah. Never been.
That is crazy. But have you ever been to a Packers practice?
I have. Well, I was
when we were
there. We were at the Perch last year, but I was there as a fan too.
I
was at a shareholder meeting as a fan, as a young kid, or as a shareholder's friend, I guess. I'm not a shareholder, but and I was at Packers practice as a fan. Buy or sell, that's still the best value in all of American sports. Is to go to a free Packers practice.
Well, yeah, and then pay for spend your money at the pro shop and at
sure, yeah.
the tour, the stadium tour, and the Packers Hall of Fame.
It doesn't beat that. And I remember going with my dad and my sister. We took a trek when we were we were kids in the 90s to do the Packers experience, which was new for a time. It was like a big, indoor amusement park basically for the Packers. That was fun.
Yep. From the 715 Buy or Sell Tuesday. Buy or sell the ground beef at the taco bar. Side note, myself and a number of my friends got a bout of food poisoning from a wedding reception this weekend.
Well, that's bad luck. I mean, when a wedding reception has bad food and the entire guest list is stricken with this ailment, that's a bad situation because there's only so many bathrooms. Everyone's in formal wear and you're starting to feel uncomfortable on the dance floor. I can see that, but I would buy generally the ground beef. It's hard to screw up taco meat. Am I wrong? And it's generally going to be cooked through because it's not in big chunks. So I would buy that in every situation. You really can't beat that situation. Now, contamination can happen anywhere, unfortunately. Maybe they had some Taylor Farms lettuce. I'm not really sure. But I would buy that situation. I think in general, you're going to know what you're going to get. Not happy to. Sorry about the ailment you were stricken with, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, Chris in Lodi is fighting with me on the text line saying, Armin, you're treating Nike like it's Coke and it's not, but it's definitely the sports version of Coke. It's the most successful American sports brand ever. And Coke lost market share in the 80s to Pepsi, and they had new Coke. They had their disaster and rebounded from it. So there's ways to look at it. This debate going.
I mean, and I made the Champion thing just because Champion is they're like an upstart. They do collabs with Supreme. They're more of like on the streets now. I think Champion is like what people would go to over Nike. But that's just empirical. That's just kind of like my subjective from just like seeing stuff on the streets.
Maybe I'm just not in the cool enough streets. Maybe that's my problem.
Could be.
I got to be in the cool enough streets.
I mean, it's a little bit like Levi's.
Sure. Do they dominate jeans anymore?
Do they? I think so. But there are other upstarts.
But
in a way, like Nike, New Balance is gaining on Nike.
Yes, New Balance
in
definitely.
terms of cachet and just the shoes and the
more and more popular.
Shoes are shoes, basically, aren't they? I mean, it's all personal preference, pretty much.
Well,
Nike lost the hardcore runners years ago to Brooks and the other brands, and Hoka now.
Ugly shoes. They call them ugly shoes, right? Ugly shoes are more popular, like the big chunkier ones. And Nike didn't have a good response, like a good. But some people you're right. Shoes are shoes. Like, people are loyal to what fits them well. Like some people like New Balance because it's an American brand, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone's got their thing,
And I just think like Champion and Converse, like they punch above their class in some ways.
Well, I've been trying to bring Reebok back too, Drew. I mean, I'm trying to bring back Reebok, so we'll see if it works.
It's a long, lonely fight, but you're in it for the long haul.
There's a couple that will like protrude the market where like the New Balance 550 was popular a couple summers ago in terms of shoes. Like I sound like a sneakerhead now. Reebok's got the Club C85s. Like people still love those, but like the Adidas Samba has been this shoe the last year. Like
last couple years. Yeah.
Every young female has an Adidas Samba on, even though they're like uncomfortable indoor soccer shoes. They're wearing them casually like no other shoes. So some things just hit the culture, Drew, and you can't really question the culture.
That's true.
Jess Man says, I like Brooks because they have a 60-day return policy. Yeah, well, they're just good for the wide foot kings like me.
Like you.
Yeah.
Oh, Brooks are good shoes.
They're good.
All right, what buy or sells do you have regarding Brewers?
All right, buy or sell. Brewers started a series with the Mariners, Drew. Does it remind you like the AL days? No other team like the Brewers switched from the AL to the NL, right? Except for the Astros. They had that. So no team switched leagues like the Brewers did. And for a while, every time there was an interleague game, I was nostalgic about the American League days. Like, so it was always like the White Sox, for a while, you'd be nostalgic about those rivalry matchups between Gar and those guys in the 90s. And is that still a thing, or it's been so long since the Brewers switched leagues, 28 years now, And there's been so much interleague. Are we desensitized to the novelty aspect of playing an American League team now? Because I always thought we had more nostalgia factor because we were in both leagues, So if you grew up watching American League games, and now it's like, oh, the Mariners, I remember this game. I remember the fight with the Mariners in the 90s, or I remember the Jay Buhner Griffey, days. But that might be gone.
Yeah, the interleague play and seeing every team all the time, it's just the novelty's gone.
Yeah, it is, I think. And is that too much interleague? That's the question. Like, is there too much interleague play? Would you prefer it to be
I like it.
Where the whole schedule seems interleague?
I like it. Brewers get to face Aaron Judge every year. Every other year in Milwaukee.
Right.
I like it.
I don't mind it, but I think it does take away a little bit of the novelty aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like when you see, like, there was an excitement when the Yankees came into town for the first time in 7 years. But then again, if you grew up in Milwaukee, you were always watching the Yankees play at County Stadium. So we were always in that unique situation.
I mean, yeah, but you're an old soul and I'm old. So
yes,
I like,
well, true.
I've seen the Brewers in the American League as long as I've seen them in the National League. Right.
Correct.
And for like people Hunter's age and Billy's age, all they know is the National League. So
right. So they have no reference for the nostalgia.
No. You want to go into a rabbit hole, Armin, go find that Mariners Brewers brawl.
Yes, I'll post it later on Twitter. No, I know it's a Jim Paschke called it. 1990.
All-timer. Treb.
One of the great fights ever that no one talks about. Like 9 minutes, Treb getting body slammed.
There was like 4 times it was over and then it sparked back up.
I think there's at least 6 Hall of Famers in that fight. Mulder, Yount. Well, I don't think Sheffield's a Hall of Famer, but if he was, okay, you can put Sheff in there.
He might be. He's on the rise.
Griffey, obviously, Randy Johnson.
Martinez.
Dave Parker, I want to say.
Was Edgar Martinez playing?
Probably. So it's just pretty crazy. You watch that. I'll post some stuff on Twitter later. Great memory. Buy or sell, Drew. When you're in a pennant race and you're in first place and you're trying to hold off a hot team like the Brewers are, it's sometimes harder to get up for a series like this, and there's more of a pressure on you to win a game like this than there is like the Dodgers series. Because obviously the Dodgers are looked at as a better opponent, tougher opponent. Everyone's going to expect the Brewers to roll the Mariners, right? Is there more of a pressure on the Brewers because that's not how baseball works sometimes?
Is there more pressure? I mean, I've been warning people for a long time. Don't look at records. Don't look at like the strength of schedule thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Just doesn't. Again, when the Brewers were bad, they would go in and beat teams and win 2 out of 3 from teams that were charging for the pennant. Just no rhyme or reason.
That's why, in some ways, I think it puts.
If you play loose, it's just like,
there's less excuses then if you lose. But maybe they don't think of it that way. I do.
I don't think
you
so.
need excuses when you lose.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think players are wired to look down on teams because of their record. They're big league teams. And now, again, like. It's going to be a come down because it's not the Dodgers, right? And the Brewers spend a lot of emotion. Good thing they had a day off, but it's not the Dodgers. But they're also back at home after a long week out west.
And that's got to feel good.
Back at home. So, I wouldn't. Just don't discount anybody because that's death in baseball is to look past somebody. Well, you can win that series. Again, how do the Brewers play against the Pirates?
Right. You have to be vigilant. Every team can get you.
Every team can get you every day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So it's just like that. That just isn't. That's not a thing. And like I said before, like when the Rockies came in right before the trade deadline, a lot of those guys wanted to get traded. They were playing their asses off. They were happy to be playing in front of a spirited crowd for a change, and they got juice off of that. Even though they're
right,
there were no Rockies fans in the stands. Really, it was Just discount that. Put that out of your mind.
Yeah. Jess Man on YouTube with a couple here. He said, buy Logan Henderson. Well, obviously. I think we'd all buy that. Talking about the pitch map is let's start. Then he said this one, talking about Brewers and uniforms. And we're talking a little bit about the aesthetics of sports and the apparel. Sell the powder blue jerseys, but not paired with powder blue pants. Was that a swing and a miss by the Brewers? I like the powder blue ones, but a lot of people were saying they should have also made it the full set.
I mean, how many uniforms can you travel with?
Well, that's part of the problem. Isn't it like a lot more efficient to not? Now, that's kind of, maybe that's not, a good excuse, but, at least they only need one pair of pants on the road, right? Gray pants.
Yeah.
But if you had the powder blues, you need to have that whole set of pants for everywhere on the road trip. And that adds up for the traveling party, right? For the George Costanzas of the world, for the assistant to the traveling secretary. That adds up. But there's no question. I think it would look good as a full set, look better.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going to throw it back, throw it all the way back.
It does not bother me, though, as much as it bothers some. It was really bothersome for a lot of people this year when they released that. People were like really upset about it. I can't care that much, but
877-794-1973.
I like this one. Only Phil. Buy or sell. The Dodgers are like Nike, and the Cubs are hush puppies. Would the Brewers be champions then? Well, we could be the champion brand if you want to use a metaphor there, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd like us to be real champions. That'd be good. All right. Jess, man, Cardinals do the full set. A lot of teams do. A lot of teams, the Royals do. A lot of teams wear the full set of the baby blues, and Brewers just don't. Maybe they'll make that additional next year. You never know.
Not
They
sure.
might.
Yeah. I can see it. Keep them coming. 877-794-1973. You got a buy or sell proposition for us? We started the show talking about how baseball is the best sport to follow when your team is good. You buying or selling that? Because the Brewers didn't play last night. Much needed reset, little break, and yet you were still invested in Cubs, White Sox. And you're still living and dying with that. And now you're invested in watching what the Dodgers and Braves will do as the Brewers are trying to finish with one of the top 2 records in the league. That to me is like doesn't exist in other sports. I mean, not as much. It's not as prevalent or as bankable. And every year it seems like this year is going to be unbelievable at the bottom of the races. Here we are sitting at the top, the bottom of the American League with like 10 teams in it.
Could be interesting.
It's crazy. And they all have losing or 500 records. It's insane. It's awesome. You know what else is awesome? Go to ironjoc.com. Paulie Hansen. For years, Iron Jocks made great shorts. I'm wearing them today, but they were available in black and in gray. And now you can get them in navy. Got to add something to the Iron Jock wardrobe. The navy shorts have arrived. They've landed at ironjoc.com.
Been waiting for those, Drew.
Go with the light blue. You can pair it with the navy or the light blue or the white workout shirts, or you can, they have the lightweight hoodies, like almost the t-shirt weight hoodies.
Yeah.
The regular hoodies.
That's the next sports
The quarter
brand
zips.
to take over America.
Iron Jock.
Yes.
Paulie Hansen, we've been with him since the very beginning. Iron Jock now has the blue shorts. Go check him out at ironjoc.com. Get your pair. It's the latest. Also, every time you go to ironjoc.com, little tip here, little pro tip from Uncle Drew. Go to the clearance section. Those jackets, the zip-up jackets, perfect for rainy,
those are
warm weathers.
I've always loved my jacket.
They're on sale. They're awesome.
They're on sale. That's one of my favorite items.
They're deeply discounted. So go check out the clearance section.
So comfortable.
As well as the new blue shorts at ironjoc.com. We're back to close up shop with our wake and bake story of the day presented by happyplacehemp.com. That's next, and we'll close out with some buy or sell propositions. What did we accomplish today? Not much, but we discussed how much fun it is to follow a baseball team when it's good. And we had a robust discussion about who the Brewers MVP is this year. Numbers wise, you say Terang or Miz. Vibes wise, you throw Bowers in there. Fascinating discussions we've had today. Closing up shop next year in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to close up shop on the Tuesday edition of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. And for you streamers, Facebook, X, and YouTube.
It's been a spirited buy or sell. And I know we have our Wake and Bake coming up. Mm-hmm. I think Derek and Madison has a text that might qualify for both. I think it might qualify as a Wake and Bake, and it's a buy or sell. So we'll do
Let's
that.
have it.
We want to do it right. We might as well, right?
All right,
Why not?
Well, Wake and Bake is brought to us by our friends at happyplacehemp.com. Rob and Chris work out of Muskego, making the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. You can purchase them at a 25% discount with free shipping if you use the code HUDDLE at happyplacehemp.com. What do you got?
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you would construct it. I'm not the culinary genius that can figure out a snack food like this, but Derek and Madison said, buy or sell my invention, Inside Out Cheetos. Same cheesy taste, none of the mess. Brilliant. So I guess the outside is dry and the inside is the powder. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and it's definitely a Wake and Bake situation because I'm trying to wrap my head around how Derek and Madison's buy or sell invention would work. But hey, this could work. I mean, if you make it work, you might get rich, Derek. Inside Out Cheeto, Drew.
Didn't they sell naked Cheetos for a while?
They might have, and you always had crunchy or puffed. Because I always thought I don't like getting messy, right? So I don't want to. I love Cheetos, but I don't want to get the powder, so I always avoid them for that reason.
There you go. Cheetos Simply NKD. Simply naked.
Really? So they were naked Cheetos, so they had the taste of Cheetos?
Yeah, with no dyes or artificial flavors.
Well, that is okay. So that's
so
just
it
like
exists, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't know about Inside Out. You can even get them flaming hot because it's no dye, so no residue on your fingers.
But what do you want on the inside, Derek? The powder? I'm really confused about it. Now, they sell, well, they have sold, and they still sell the Cheetos branded mac and cheese. I've had that in my Viking weekend moments. That's pretty good, I gotta say.
You won't make that for Lena?
I no, I'll try.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cheetos and Doritos got naked late last year. PepsiCo put out the naked Cheetos and Doritos.
See, naked became cool.
Simply NKD, a reinvention of Doritos and Cheetos flavors with no artificial flavors, dyes, and completely colorless.
They knew the younger, the Gen Z.
Same flavor.
World, they wanted that, yeah.
But yeah, the Flamin' Hots were such that neon orangey red, you know,
which was like cool for the elder millennials like me in the 90s to drink that with Surge. But now the kids want like healthy, dye-free, big Hokas. See, it's the same thing, Drew, as the shoe discussion.
Yeah. So Simply Naked. So it's almost like who was our texter that came up with this idea?
Derek and Madison. What up, Derek? Thanks for
Derek,
listening.
it's almost like porn. If you can conceive of it, it already exists. And there's already like a Reddit thread and a Discord, and it's already there.
That's hilarious.
If you can think of it, it's already there. Like there's nothing new that hasn't been.
But you can always consume Happy Place Hemp. Great spot.
Yeah, check out Happy Place Hemp. The Drift Seltzer, Drift Gummies. Amazing. Also, just the daily use gummies. And don't sleep on the muscle balms. It's fantastic. For a lot of people, like if you got sore knees, sore elbow, sore shoulder, sore back, like they find relief from that product. And that is a go-to. And it's like we said, legal, local, they'll ship everywhere and you can buy them. All the products at happyplacehemp.com, 25% off and free shipping. That's the key. And free shipping if you use the code HUDDLE. So
there you go.
Save some cash and go to the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. All right. Did we solve anything today? I don't know. Phil has a late one. Buy or sell. The pretzel combos are better than the breaded combos.
That's an absolute buy. In fact, I can't even find the breaded ones anymore.
I don't know. What do you mean breaded ones?
The original combos weren't the pretzel wrap. It was just bread. It was like bread.
I thought every combo I've had in my life was like a pretzel.
That mostly are now. I don't even think you can. I do remember the old ones though.
I don't remember.
It was always like, why would you get those? I didn't get that. It's like, why would you get shortbread cookies for Girl Scout cookies? I never understood it.
Yeah.
But maybe some people like them, I guess, when we get old. Derek and Madison, sorry, guys, I'm a pool man, not a doctor. Well, you're both cleaning out filters, so it's not that different. I'm just trying to see a couple minutes left if we left any on the cutting room floor from the video stream text on YouTube. Johnny Cribbage had one. He said, "Oh yeah, the Trace Mac thing. The Trace Mac will be the will be the drama 5 more times this year. Easy. Yeah, the drama will change every week when it in the preseason in the NFL. It's in sports in general. That'll always change. Yeah. So a lot of great interaction today on the text line, on the video stream, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, X. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Wow. I just found a wake and bake story that's just
Load it up. We got a minute, Drew. Load
revolting.
It up. Oh.
Hotels.com surveyed Americans about their behavior in hotels.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Well, this one's not bad or surprising. 25% admitted to sneaking food from breakfast to eat later.
Oh, I do that all the time. That's
The
revolting.
continental breakfast?
I've done that.
No. 16% confessed to taking toiletries from a housekeeping cart.
Oh, I've done that. I guess I'm the problem.
And 5% of people said they used the coffee maker to wash their underwear.
Oh,
the in-room coffee maker.
That is revolting. Don't do that. Tip your housekeepers. They deserve it.
Will you ever use a coffee maker at a hotel again?
My wife won't. I won't.
Oh, good God. All right, tomorrow we're going to do it again. Billy will be back for the whole day. We'll hear about Packers practice. We'll talk Brewers and Mariners. Have a great day. We'll see you at 5 a.m.
Peace.